Pound Pimples, before we get started, I want to let you know that our guest Andre Hyland has a show in LA as the Jesse Miller Talk Show.
Jesse Miller Talk Show, December 11th, Dynasty Typewriter. Tickets are available now. I suggest you purchase one.
Call your Wishmaster.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, call your Wishmaster. December
11th. It's a Saturday night, so you got no excuse.
Got no excuse. See you there. Peace.
Oh, and one other thing. This episode also contains the After Dark portion, so those of you who don't yet subscribe to our Patreon can get a taste of what you're missing. Enjoy!
This episode of the Poundcast is in part brought to you by
Racket.
Racket. What is Racket?
What is all that racket?
Exactly. See?
Exactly.
You're going to find out.
You're going to find out what that is. It's the same exact joke I did on the last one, which is funny. It's good. I like that. There's an instinct for that joke, and I like that.
Collective consciousness.
Yes, exactly. You know, we're on the same wavelength. Racket is a new app that is coming out on November 16th on the App Store. And what does the app do? It's like
It's a social media app of short content, but it's audio only.
Audio only. So it's
such a cool idea, right?
So
It's like Quibi without the visuals.
I mean, it's like.
But each thing is only 90 seconds long. So
they give you 99 seconds.
99 seconds.
Yeah. You get up to 99 seconds of audio.
And the B ain't one. I got 99 seconds, but the ain't one.
Right.
Anyway,
exactly.
Racket.
So yeah, but it's like one of these apps where you can put out short form video content, but it's audio only. So the beauty of that is, you know, you don't have to be looking at a screen. You
don't have to look at the screen. And also, you don't have to film yourself doing stuff and worry about how you look.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
true, yeah.
I mean, just imagine putting out little sound bites.
No, I get it.
It's just, there's a lot. You don't have to, I don't know, just that's...
You can put jokes on there.
You can put
I
jokes.
get it now. It's something
I've been on there.
It's like an audio TikTok, but longer.
Exactly.
There you go.
That's a great way to describe it. But there's some long stuff on TikTok too. But I digress. It doesn't matter.
But anyways, it's also, you know, doing short form content like that, it kind of makes it more accessible to a larger span, you know,
for people with shorter ears.
Well, you have because, you know, you do you do a long form thing like a podcast. You got to, I don't know, deal with production and stuff. But
no, with
Racket, anybody can do it.
Anyone can use it. Anyone has a platform, and it's really easy. And
well, like a podcast you listen to on your commute to work or to wherever you go, you know, like, oh, it's a good chunk of time. But with Racket, you'd be like, I'm just going to walk to the bathroom and take a leak. I can listen to a Racket.
Or you can listen. You can still listen to it on your way to work, but it'll be many.
You can do a lot of them. Very productive.
It'll be many little shorter things.
Well, that's what's cool is you could be. It's like this. Say you're carpooling with someone to work, right? And then every few minutes, the person in the passenger seat is saying, "Oh, look at this video. Pull over so you can look at this video." And you're pulling over the whole time. In Racket, you don't have to pull over. You just drive there. He says, "Oh, listen to this one," and boom, you're driving. You're driving the whole time.
It's like a little film festival for your ears.
Yeah. So look, download the app and follow me and Brent. I'm on there at Doug Pound, 2 G's, and Brent, you're on there, right?
Brent Weinbach. Yeah. But also, it's not. If you want to get early access, it's you go to racket.com, and if you want to get in before it gets officially...
Before the 16th, you could just tell them the Poundcast sent you.
Tell them the Poundcast sent you, and I think they'll fast-track you.
You'll be fast-tracked.
Access, I think.
Yeah, I think you might have a good chance of that.
And just like Racket, that's the short of it.
It's that easy.
It's that easy.
But you can make content too, is the thing. It's not just listening to stuff. You know, you could put out, you could do funny characters, do whatever you want to do.
You don't have to be a tennis star to use it.
Exactly.
And you kind of look like a tennis star, I got to say.
Right now, yeah.
I even got the name. Yeah, look at my little outfit.
Yeah, look like, get that little outfit.
I just changed my name to Agassi and make it 1990.
Oh, I have a funny Halloween story.
Actually, I have a shirt from 1990 on right now, the Reds.
Oh, what is that?
It's an old World Series T-shirt from the last time the Reds won the World Series, 1990.
Oh, before we tell my story.
Yeah.
What the hell's a Red?
Well, they were originally the Red Stockings, and then over
Is that
time,
right?
Yeah, it was abbreviated.
Oh,
to
I think I
the
knew
Reds.
that, actually.
Yeah.
Some of these,
Not to be
some of these
confused with the Red
teams back
Sox.
in the day, it's like, okay, what color are their socks? White socks? Okay,
That's
the
literally
team.
what it was. Yeah.
This one's got red socks. That's all. That's the only outfit they can
I think
afford.
it was Red Stockings.
Red
and then,
stockings. Jesus,
and
how
then
old is that
it
team?
became either the Reds, and then
I know. Is it from the colonial era?
Yeah.
I think during the communism, or sort of like, it was probably McCarthyism. I think they went to Red Legs, sort of, and then back
red
to Reds.
legs.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
weird, dude.
No, I know.
The
Well,
red
just
legs.
because they had red socks on. So
And
they
they're,
had red
yeah,
legs.
there's like, screw it, dude. It's just the Reds.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's keep it simple and vaguely, hugely broad.
Like Big Red.
Yeah.
Did you go trick or treating?
I did not. I just watched Wishmaster.
I went trick or treating, and I went to a haunted house, but it was a real haunted house.
They
You
give
know,
you
there's
ghost
always one in
candy?
the neighborhood
They
that
give you ghost haunted candy.
creepy
Yeah.
haunted house. And
Do you have a boneless Snickers
I go
bar?
there. There's a lot of bowl. You know what I noticed this year? There's a lot of bowls.
That's because people don't want that COVID cooties on
That's
their.
so
on
lame.
their-
Just leaving the bowls out.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, any person can take all the candy. It's
And-
risky business.
I don't know. I went to a haunted house. There was the bowl. I don't know what my point is. My point is I was giving kids treats,
Yeah.
right? And I got these full Snicker bars. I was giving them, I'm like, I'm going to treat these kids to full bars.
Yeah. Their cell phone must have lasted forever.
Yeah, and I didn't leave it out in the bowl. I was giving these kids full bars, and they get the bar, and they're like, and they put it in their bag like they're disappointed by my
What?
Snickers.
How are they disappointed in that?
I
They
know.
want that more than party size or fun size?
I held out this Snickers for a kid, and he comes up to me, and he's like, shh, and he slaps it out of my hand. Whoosh. He's like, I don't want that shit. I'm like, damn, what do these kids want? So I went to my cupboard. You know I have Louisville vegan jerky stocked at all times. I'm like, I'll give these kids a couple bags of these. I have a few bags. Maybe they don't like Snickers. Maybe they don't want this candy anymore. I give this kid, the same kid who slapped it out of my hand, he comes back for seconds. He's like, I'm going to slap this guy's candy out of his hand again. That was too much fun. I'm like, here you go, little boys and girls. Check out this Louisville vegan jerky. And he started crying. And he goes, you know what? I'm not going to slap candy out of anyone's hand again. Because this is the nicest thing anyone's ever done. He said, I love this jerky. I go to LouisvilleVeganFoods.com and I use the code word Poundcast. I already have some of this, sir, because I'm a pound pimple. I didn't realize that was you behind the David Lynch outfit. I was like, this is the craziest thing. You're a pound pimple, son? And he's like, yeah, I'm 25. I just look like I'm 13. I go around, I slap Snickers around.
Did he say, I don't need to be a jerk anymore because now I have some of my own?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. And he's like, just keep it. I have so much of this at home. I'm like, where did you get it? He said, you know where I got it? LouisvilleVeganFoods.com. And I used the code word Poundcast for 20% off. Isn't that a crazy,
That's crazy.
crazy story? You like how I started off saying I went to a haunted house?
Yeah.
It's called a red herring. I threw you off.
Oh.
But yeah, I did see a lot of those bowls out at the trick-or-treating
crafted
sites.
that.
Yeah, but Louisville Vegan Foods happens to be one of our sponsors
Yeah.
also.
And then
And,
it's handbagged.
It's handbagged in the USA.
It's bagged in the United States, I should say. It's bagged in the United States.
It's bagged.
It's bagged in the United
It's
States.
bagged.
And it's also...
And on trick-or-treating night, it goes from bag to bag.
Louisville, Kentucky.
Put one bag into the other bag.
And it's got a shelf life of 9 months.
This
so
kid pulls off his Chewbacca mask. He's like, I'm 25. I'm sorry.
I would have thought it was the Chewbacca mom. The viral sensation.
That's really funny, the idea of you think it's a kid and he's acting kind of bratty or
Hey,
something.
mister, I
And
don't
then
like Snickers.
you
I
br-
want Airheads.
And then you
Slaps
bring
it out
out
of my
jerky
hand.
and he pulls it off and he pulls it off. He's like, I'm sorry, man. I'm 25. And I really appreciate the jerky.
You
I
want
wish she pulled
you
off
have
the
a nice
Chewbacca
night.
mask and it was just like Yoda.
Louisville Vegan Jerky. You can get it at Sprouts, Whole Foods, or LouisvilleVeganFoods.com. Use the code or Poundcast. You get the deal. But guess what? On the real tip, on Sunday, I was going to my friend's house. They live in a place where a lot of kids come for candy.
Is this another one of those wild red herrings?
This is a real story. And I was in Manhattan Beach before that. And that's a rich neighborhood.
That's on the Hudson, right?
Yeah, and they had bowls of. They were doing the bowls of candy.
Yeah.
I think it's a rich neighborhood thing.
Yeah.
Big bowls of candy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was supposed to bring candy to my friend's house to hand to the kids.
Yeah.
And there was so much candy
You just
from
did a
these
little
rich people.
reduce,
We
reuse, recycle.
grabbed handfuls from each bowl.
Oh.
We didn't take it all,
Yeah.
but instead of stopping and buying candy, we loaded up and we Robin Hooded our own. We took it from the rich neighborhood and we brought it to the other neighborhood.
Very good.
Anyway,
Yeah.
let's get on with the show. Today's guest is Andre Hyland. He's sitting right here, and
That's me.
we're gonna introduce him in a second. Is there anything else we need to talk about, Brian?
Well, if you do want to,
We're going to talk
if you
about
want
hats.
bonus content here, you can go to the Patreon.
If you want bonus content for extended longer episodes, which today's one, the bonus episode, the After Dark episode, that's where it gets juicy.
That's where it gets juicy. Yeah.
Andre, we even talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna want to go to patreon.com/poundcast, sign up, give us some support, and we would like to also say that we're on YouTube if you want to watch this.
Yeah.
youtube.com/thepoundcast.
The back a third of my head for a lot of time.
Oh man,
I think, right?
Good to see your cool.
you
Welcome
get
to the
that
jungle
nice
hat.
profile. You got that profile going off.
You're all up in this mix.
Trying to get my posture better.
All right. Well,
Honestly,
then-
struggle with my posture.
anything else we got to mention? That's about
I
it.
reckon not.
We're gonna play the theme song and then we'll get into it. We're gonna chop it up. And you know
We're
what?
going to
Today's-
slash it up.
We're gonna slash it up. Today we're pretty much hanging out with Andre Hyland, and we're just having fun. Just a classic kickback.
Not to say the main episode was fine. It was good.
It was good. I'm just saying it gets juicy near the
If
end.
we had to choose between the two, even at 51-49, I vote 51 on the later half. That's all.
Okay.
I mean, it's all of us. You can't be offended by it. We're all the same people.
We're
involved
all
with
part
both
of a
them.
never-ending story.
You know what I'm saying?
All
It's
right,
like,
let's
you
get
know-
on with the show. This intro has been quite long and
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's a long intro.
Let's get on with it.
Doug and Brent talking to each other. Doug and Brent, what will they talk about today? Doug and Brent are talking to some pimples. Doug and Brent will talk to their friends. And Doug and Brent talking on the Poundcast.
We are rolling. Welcome to the Poundcast.
He's the new version of that. Where
Gotcha.
he pops up anywhere. Why does he
Let's
wear
do
it?
it.
He wears a Mad Hatter hat, doesn't he?
Well, it's like a leather one. Yeah.
But it's kind of reminiscent of.
it's like if Abe
Alice
Lincoln
in
was in a
Wonderland.
biker gang.
Yeah,
Well-
yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You know, at that concert, they had pyrotechnics?
To some extent.
Did they have cornrows?
It was more like Jumbotron graphics.
Okay. Well,
I don't think there were even
I thought it would be
pyrotechnics.
fun if...
Because they had an accident with Metallica in '92 where James Hetfield got burned at that Guns
Oh, I
N'
know.
Roses Metallica concert.
Well, I thought it might be fun if
so maybe they
instead
said
of
no.
pyrotechnics, to be safer, if they had like water technics, and he
That'd be
would-
cool.
That's-
like during November rain, he just gets rained on, and he's called Splash during that moment.
I think they should bring Tazao out and play Chocolate November Rain.
Tazon Day.
That's his full name?
What did you call him?
You know Chocolate Rain?
Yeah, but
course.
Tazon Day.
Tazon
Tazon
Day.
Day.
Okay, I forgot
What did
the
you call him?
zon.
Tazo?
Tazao.
Oh, Tazo.
That's what I call him for short, you know.
November.
November Chocolate Rain.
Yeah, Chocolate November.
November
rain.
chocolate brain. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. Now, do you? Yeah, imagine if the solo, Slash's moment.
Yeah.
Outside the church, it's not Slash anymore. It's Tazon Day. And he's
That'd be
wailing away with his voice.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
not
his-
even playing guitar.
his body's
He's
his instrument.
He's using his voice to do that solo.
Yeah.
So he has that deep voice, and then he's.
I ordered a cameo from him.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I don't have it on my phone
He's kind of
anymore.
becoming popular these days, I feel like.
Is he? Is he having a
I've been
resurgence?
hearing his name in the
zeitgeist?
I don't think he's ever gone away. He's always
Yeah,
been.
he's just there.
He's always been the punchline for things since he came out.
Did you? Did he have cornrows?
No.
He did.
Axel?
Oh, you talking about?
Axel,
No, he didn't. He had just like long hair.
because he had that for a while.
Yeah. No, I know. That was like early 2000s Axl.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Is
that
he-
was like Raiders jersey Axl.
Yeah, what's his
That
vibe
was Buckethead era. What's his vibe now? He's kind of like it's sort of like a modern version of his old outfits, if you will. You know, if you go to like Melrose, or I guess anyone out there not in LA.
So he's got a
just like-
bandana on his head?
Yeah, but it's more like it's like everything he used to wear, but sort of more. Oh, what's it called? Like over the top's not the right way to describe it. Like a more like what the hell's it? Just like a more tacky version of what he used to wear. You know, like if he used to wear like a bandana back in the day, now he'd wear like a bedazzled bandana.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which I'm just like, or like he'll wear like, you know, pre-destroyed jeans and that kind of thing, and like one of his old T-shirts, and it's just like, I don't, it's like just wear normal jeans, and you look, in my mind, still look like, you know, like just stick with the classics, you know?
Did he wear a mesh shirt?
No, he didn't wear a mesh shirt.
Were there any costume changes?
I think there was layers taken off throughout. He did do a Bismarcky tribute, which was enjoyable.
Bismarcky, interesting.
Actually, when he had his piano out for November Rain.
No kidding.
He did that either before or after the song.
Interesting.
I guess they have a new song called Hard School.
Oh, they putting out new. Oh yeah, did they do?
I'm
Is that
trying-
off of Chinese Democracy?
Well, that's been out for a long time.
So did they do new songs?
You know, if they did, I didn't recognize them as much.
Mm-hmm. They played Sweet Child.
Oh yeah, I mean they definitely played all the hits.
Was
for
everybody
sure.
kind of thinking, of course they're gonna play this song? Or did they think?
Everybody was like,
I'm
"Quit
sure-
it! Can you just play the new shit?"
No one said that.
Honestly, though, I think that would be cool.
You
to
couldn't hear
see-
them over all the old stuff.
If to see a legendary band play all new stuff, that'd be pretty neat. You know?
Yeah. Well, I will say this, that I mean, obviously, not just Guns N' Roses, but any like big famous band, there's like always the hits, and like typically as things go on, the later songs aren't as interesting or whatever,
No,
or
that's true.
the time has passed for that to be as
What if they,
engaging as
what
it
if
once
they had new
was or
songs that
whatever.
were really good?
Well, that might happen, but anyway, I guess my point is, as sort of a fan who just wants to hear, like, you just want, like, you're like, I want that juicy cheeseburger that I always like off the menu, so of course you want that. And then someone's like, try these new menu items, and you're like, I don't know, I kind of want to stick with it. Anyway, I don't know what my point is, but I appreciate the fact that bands that are around that long still are making new music rather than just becoming their own tribute band. But, you know, at the same time, I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to hear the hits. You know
Sure.
what I mean? But
Well,
I appreciate them making new stuff. Them
Yeah.
and whoever else is around that long, you know.
Yeah, Dove.
I've been listening to podcasts about bands.
Yeah.
And a lot of bands such as Metallica and Guns N' Roses, they'll start off with their most classic, like their early stuff is
Yeah.
like timeless masterpieces, right?
Right.
But then the band, you got to understand, which I understand that, like, if you're a band like that, you don't want to just like make another Master of Puppets after you made your Master of
course,
Puppets.
yeah.
So you're gonna like you get bored of that. You want to
Yeah. Unless you're
evolve.
AC/DC.
You want to evolve, right? You want to evolve. But then it's gonna be like, it's not gonna be like the stuff after. Do you like Metallica?
Yeah.
Like,
But
to
I
me,
don't,
the stuff
I don't
af-
really like that after mid-90s.
Right, the stuff after
Yeah.
the Black Album,
Yeah. Like
After-
Load was the last one
after,
I was
like,
kind of okay with.
after like Enter Sandman, to me, after Load and Beyond is like.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Then they start. They get bored. They don't want to
Yeah.
keep doing the same thing.
I appreciate them switching
I
it up.
appreciate
just
them
don't
switching
enjoy
up,
it.
but
Yeah.
it's not. It ain't
Yeah,
shit.
I hear you.
exactly.
It
I'm
ain't
like,
shit.
like Saint Anger, I was like, eh.
That's terrible.
And that documentary, Some Kind of Monster, it's just like Metallica hanging out eating sandwiches with a therapist, and this is like,
yeah, why would they do that?
why is that the definitive
Keep the
documentary
mystique
right now?
Yeah, keep the mystique.
Yeah, you know,
going.
I really connect to Madonna's music from the 80s and some of the 90s too. But
80s, 90s, and today.
but the thing, it's funny. It's funny that we could still say, but that'd be funny to say 80s, 90s, and today, even
Right.
20 years from
20
now.
years after the 90s.
Even
yeah.
20 years from now.
until
you know?
until we hit the next set of 80s.
Right.
Yeah, like
exactly.
2000 in 2060, we'll still be the 80s and 90s, and today it's like it's almost the next 80s.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah. But no, I did hear her most recent, or some songs from her most recent album.
Yeah.
And I didn't connect to it.
I saw her special.
so much.
That
Oh,
concert.
Madam
one.
X or something like that?
Yeah.
What's that all about? It's a concert?
Yeah. You know, it's funny. Like, I like her older stuff too. I mean,
I love her old.
Yeah.
I love the 80s and
The thing that I found a bummer. Did you see her do stand up on Jimmy Fallon?
I did.
That was rough. And I mean, I get it, but she's not a stand up. But
Did she have writers? Were the jokes at least good?
No, it was all bad. And again, like. It was like it seemed like a bad intersection of things. Like, one, like, you know, if someone wants to expand their artistic, you know, whatever toolbox, like, go for it. But it really felt like, and I might be wrong, but this is what it definitely felt like. It felt like she was surrounded by people who were like, oh my God, that's so funny. Yes, definitely do that. And it was just people saying yes, not actually finding anything funny. And then she went out and bombed. And it was really bizarre to see Madonna squirm a little bit, like, sincerely, it looked like. And that was kind of just strange to see. And then also with her in general now, she was such the trailblazer for the way of lots of, like, you know, pop artists operate now. It's weird now to see her trying to sort of impress or keep up with, like, the Instagram, TikTok era instead of just, I'm not saying go away. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's just like, why are you trying to impress those dopes? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't even realize how redundant they are of stuff she did.
Well,
I'm just sorry to give an example, but I've just seen some things like I'm Madonna, bitch, like that song. It's like, this is pandering to people who, like, I don't know, you know what I mean, who will probably think she's like a ripoff of Lady Gaga or something. It's like, this is all backwards.
well, if you were, I mean, it's probably sucks to be someone that's that legend. Would you rather be someone that's like that legendary? Would you, you know, where it's almost like when you get older, you've reached this amazing peak where you're the number one.
Yeah.
And then when you get older, you're just fading. You're not as relevant anymore. And
Yeah.
what would you do if you were in that position?
I guess the attitude I would try
If
to.
you're a Madonna, you had the pointy bra,
Yeah.
right? And you're at the top. You're at the top of the mountains.
Yeah.
And then
The pointy mountains.
Pointy Mountains.
exactly. And then like 30 years later, here you are.
Yeah.
What do you do?
No, I get that. I guess.
I think.
Well, here's some
Okay.
hard truths that'll just happen.
I'll give you some hard
You
truths.
could be a fucking Beatle, and there's people who are like, "Who are the Beatles?" It'll happen. It has happened. You know what I mean? So that's just gonna happen. No matter how big someone is, at some point, they're gonna fade out just because humanity will carry on. And
Not Michael
know.
Jackson.
No, that dude will fade out too.
Michael Jackson will
Yeah.
be with us forever.
People will be like, "Alien Ant Farm." That's an original song.
All right.
So, but what was I saying?
That's good.
So anyway, I guess I would try
That's
to
funny.
like lean into more of what you. I don't know how to describe. Like, I know I wouldn't do that. Like, try to impress the people that aren't impressed with you. It just seems like I don't. It's like trying to grab water or something.
I
Like,
just think people that get to that level.
I'm not saying don't try. I'm just saying it's her. She seemed like someone who was always like, at least the first in the mainstream to do things. You know, wherever it came from. She was, I don't know, whatever. She was a trailblazer in many ways, and then to see her backpedaling to impress people that don't even understand that is like a bummer to see. I don't blame her for doing that. I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of a bummer approach.
Well, I think it's there's two routes to go. You could either just I think I'm impressed when people who I really admire who did something and then like later on they're not on their game anymore. They just get into painting and they're like, I'm just gonna retire and you can buy my paintings and I'm living in this
Yeah.
peaceful meditation life now. But there's some people that maybe are always trying to chase or like they're addicted to that that ego mountain that they've got to, like Madonna or something, where they want to stay relevant, and it's kind of after a while it's going to be kind of embarrassing or something. I don't know about her. I really don't know what's up with her.
Well, I
maybe
mean,
she's
it's
doing
like-
it. Maybe she's doing it fine, or they do. Like I did see Metallica. Like I saw them. I was like looking through YouTube, and I saw a recent concert, and they played all their hits, and they're
Yeah.
really good, and they're like. It looked like a great show.
Yeah,
they're playing.
No, I would go see Metallica. I
Like,
would go see Madonna. I guess I
Maybe
was
just like don't try to like. Don't put out these Saint Angers. Stop putting out music if it sucks. Put it on Patreon
yeah.
or put it out. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying, a lot of times, it would be a curse to be that that huge.
Well,
And
right
then-
after
and
you're
then
that
like
big, you
later
got
in
nowhere
your
to
life.
go but down.
Have you ever seen that movie, Sunset Boulevard?
Perceived was.
Yeah, I love that movie.
You know that movie Sunset
I
Boulevard?
actually haven't seen it.
Oh, this is
You
great.
gotta see it.
I know it's a classic.
It's about a silent film actress. She was like the top,
Yeah.
whatever, like the huge famous star. And then later in her career, she's living this delusional life where she's trying to make a comeback, living on Sunset Boulevard, like all by herself in this
Spoil it for me. I
mansion.
still gotta watch it. I've only had like 80 years to check it out, but
I don't know. Check it
but
out.
anyway, I mean, I'm glad
I
Madonna's
think
still
about that
making new
movie a lot.
music, but I was just I don't know enough of the new shit. I liked what was the last time she had like a big hit? It was like 05 when she had like those dudes crumping or whatever in her video. The one there was like a ABBA sample in it. What was it, Time or something? Anyway, whatever. That was cool.
It was
but-
in the 2000s.
yeah, it was like 05.
Who keeps killing it? And I have an answer. The older they get, they're still sharp and they're still on their
Music
game.
wise?
Anything.
Who
does it?
Oh,
Jeff
oh.
Goldblum.
Who does it right?
Jeff Goldblum?
Oh, Chris Rock, Jeff Goldblum.
Well,
Jeff
it's not
Goldblum's-
like Chris Rock is.
Jeff Goldblum is
I don't
more
know.
popular than ever. If it seems like as the older he gets, the older he
There's
gets, the more
comedians that don't
popular he
age
gets.
well.
Okay, how about music?
Music.
Music is a tough one.
Okay.
People like actors and comedians.
David Bowie did.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I never. Okay, this is a good example.
I mean, you know, Paul McCartney kind of stays relevant to some degree, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but have you heard some of his new songs?
No. Oh, you don't like it?
He's got some bad stuff.
Thomas Petty was good.
What he has this like really embarrassing one. It's got this like goofy title that like
I got to see him live a few years ago, and that was pretty awesome. It was one of those ones where I kept trying to, like, I had to take a leak, and then I was like, I'll take a leak during the next song. And I was like, that's probably all the big songs. And then I was like, all his songs are big songs. This is insane.
You know what's a good song I found out about kind of semi-recently? Is I think it's called Waterfalls. Do you know that song by Paul McCartney?
No.
It's really good, and
Yeah.
the music video is really cool for it. But also, I think it really hardcore inspired, or even it's just the TLC's Waterfalls is an homage to it or something like that, because their lyrics are really similar.
Yeah.
And even melodically, it's a little bit similar, but it's a cool song. Check it out.
oh you know who you know who
I'll give
kind
it a
of
listen.
it's a cool video.
you know who Johnny Cash in his later years he
You did all the Billy Graham mission trips.
I know this is maybe kind of lame, but I thought it was maybe cool when he was doing like Nine Inch Nails covers.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like a few years.
No, well,
like,
that's like a classic cover. That's definitely, a lot of people think that's cool. I think that's
but I
a good one.
like he didn't try to like
you had heard?
he didn't try to be he didn't try to be modern and put like EDM beats in his music.
Right.
or
He just did his version of it.
He just like I think Rick Rubin probably
Yeah.
is really the guy behind that. But
No, I remember
I'm trying
that.
to find this Paul McCartney song. It doesn't matter.
He did Nick Cave also.
Yeah.
Well,
Johnny
who
Cash.
else has
Well, I think. Have you seen the new episode of Curb? I think Larry David is a good example of someone who's like
Oh,
pretty
yeah, yeah.
old, but
Yeah.
also really.
He's
still
always
really
looked
fun.
old though, so he kind of
He looks a little older now, but the new season seems to be about like he's making fun of like old stuff,
Yeah.
old guy stuff. You know,
Yeah.
he thinks he's maybe getting dementia or something, and that's
Oh,
like kind of the
interesting.
gag of it. But
Well,
I think it's still really funny. Maybe
I
it's
think-
it's not the best Curb
Yeah.
I've ever seen, but
some comedians they
I ain't hating it.
stay kind of relevant always, you know. I mean,
Right.
when they get old. I mean, comedians. I think it's
Well,
easier.
comedians is one thing,
It's easier for that. I think.
but music and stuff is tough.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, music different.
I think music's different.
Like think
Because-
about what
or
was your
harder
favorite
to-
band in high school?
because music is for
Nirvana.
kids.
Yeah, their new stuff is not.
the new stuff is
lame.
no good. It's like crickets.
But you know, the thing is music is for kids. Comedy is for adults. So you know what I mean. Kids are always aging out of music, pop music.
Yeah.
It's kind of more for kids in a way, right?
The what? Pop music?
Yeah, pop music is kind of more for kids in a way.
Well,
where-
yeah, it's more like youth oriented.
Yeah, and you know the kids grow up, and
Yeah.
so then if they grow up, then it's so yeah, it makes the music more. I don't know what I'm
Well,
talking
it is
about.
a
but
conundrum because as you get older, your interests and influences in life change, and then like
You become more
I guess
interested in comedy.
Your hits were probably geared towards, or at least appealed to like teens and 20-somethings, maybe early 30s initially, and then at this point you're like 60 and you're like, I don't care about that shit as much. But that's, I don't know. Do you move on to, and 60-year-olds aren't out buying tons of music.
No, they're getting comedy albums.
They're listening to
No.
podcasts. They're listening to us talk about it.
Oh, that's actually that's true. It is. Yeah. Actually, I mean, I'm kind of joking about music is for kids. I mean, I am joking about music is for kids, comedy is for adults, but it does seem like pop music. There isn't pop comedy, is there? I guess there kind of is,
I don't
right?
know. Yeah. I
Is there
mean,
pop stand-up
I feel like
comedy?
that manifests more in like movies or TV, the pop stuff. You know what I mean?
Pop
Like pop
comedy?
comedy, if there was going to be something like that.
What is pop comedy?
Would that be like Big Bang Theory?
Okay,
Yeah.
but is there pop stand-up comedy?
Would that be Dane Cook or something like?
See,
from,
look,
like,
It could
15
be.
years ago?
absolutely.
It
Yeah.
could be Dane
But
Cook, I guess.
now-
in the 2000s.
Of today, it's perhaps that guy that did that, his special, like, in his house.
Oh,
You don't want to say his name?
I forgot his name.
Bo
I'm
Burnham?
blanking.
Bo Burnham.
Bo Burnham. Okay.
No, you're right. Bo Burnham is kind of, but he's not even.
He's more like,
there's more of a variety.
No, no, no.
like,
I
he'd be
take
more
that
like
back.
An indie band version of a pop or of a
I take that
stand-up.
back. It's TikTok
Oh yeah, totally.
But I'm talking
You're totally right.
pop stand-up.
stand up.
Is there such thing?
No,
Guess not.
it's me. It's you. We're the top. We're the top of the pops.
Top of the pops. Yeah.
Um,
But anyways.
anyway, let's get back into.
Let's talk about some other shit.
Let's talk about some other
We
shit.
talk about
Right. Well, look, I mean, if anybody's interested, that follows this show and follows my stuff, I guess I could bring up this thing. I don't know. By the time this episode comes out, things might have been resolved at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But from the time we are taping this or recording this, yesterday morning, my YouTube channel got terminated by YouTube, just out of the clear blue sky, for no reason,
And
no warning.
Did you get an email?
I got an email that said your YouTube channel has been removed from YouTube or something like that. I said, what?
And you got some videos with millions and millions of views on there.
Yeah, yeah.
How many views were on Gangster Party Line?
Gangster Party Line had over 10 million views, but yes, had over 10 million views on that channel, of course. Of course, it got stolen and re-uploaded and got millions.
I'm
tens
not
of millions of
asking
views.
that. I'm
But
asking
yeah,
on your
channel.
channel.
Yeah, on the channel, it had
Right.
10 million views. And, there was no warning, no strikes on the channel. And
Just balls?
just spares.
Okay.
And there was I appealed it, and almost instantaneously they denied the appeal. They said, yeah, we're keeping our decision. I mean, it's a robot that's saying this, I think,
Yeah.
But even when it's not a robot, then I talked to somebody, there's YouTube partner support. I talked to one of those people, and I don't think they can. They seem like robots too, is the thing. You know what I mean? I think people.
YouTube has an office in LA somewhere, right? Like
Yeah.
Marina Del Rey.
Yeah,
Some
somewhere out there.
Playa
Didn't they
del
have a
Rey?
shooting
Let's
there
go
a few
down
years
there.
ago?
Let's storm the
Sorry, that's a
castle.
bummer.
Be like, let's show up. I need to talk to a person. Go full Karen.
That's the thing, is
full Kanye.
we need I need real people. They don't have real. And when I say real people, I don't mean a person who is programmed like a robot.
And
which
you don't
they-
mean the show from the
Yeah.
80s called Real People.
Well, if you get a hold of them,
you remember that show?
What now?
Oh, Brent, you would love maybe I'm older than you guys, but there was a show called Real People.
Yeah, I remember
And-
Small Wonder.
It was sort of like a reality show, but it was like a reality like talk show, with a set, and they would just interview real people who have like an extraordinary story or something.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, continue, Brent. I'll look at
Well, I wish that I feel it's not right that they have robots and people who act like robots tending to, especially if you're in the YouTube partner program.
I don't know what that is.
It's just, if you're monetize your videos and
Oh,
stuff,
gotcha.
which I basically went for years not doing that, but then
I
they
didn't
kind
for
of.
years because I was like, I don't want ads in
Me
front of my
too. I
videos.
was
I want
saying-
it to be kind of like straight up just
Me
for whoever
too.
watches it.
'Cause
And they
I
added
also-
the fucking ads anyway. I
That's-
didn't get any money out of it.
Well, that's
It's just like-
why I ended up
Yeah.
joining the program, is because they told me we're doing a new thing where we're going to add ads anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, well, okay, if you're adding the ads anyway. I went for years. All those millions of views, I didn't, those weren't monetized.
Yeah.
But because I
We're
didn't want
pretty
ads.
stupid, aren't we?
Well, you know what? I bet if you monetized it, that would not be deleted because
No.
YouTube probably gets their cut.
No, I'm
It was
saying I did. It
monetized.
was
You did
monetized. I
upgrade it.
joined.
Oh,
I did
okay.
join the program, and I'm saying that as somebody who's in the YouTube Partner Program, and you can only join the program if you have a certain amount of subscribers and
Right.
views and
Do you
stuff.
think somebody maybe didn't like Gangster Party Line
No, it
because
has
of
nothing.
the language?
It has nothing to do with that. I'll tell you exactly what it was. I mean, not exactly what it was, but something close to something. So the reason they gave was that it was in violation of their guidelines that pertain to spam, scams, and something like that, or spams and scams, stuff like that, right?
Sounds like a good
Spam,
TV show.
scams, and green eggs and
You're
ham.
right. It's what's like diners, drive-ins, and dives. Like
Yeah.
spam, scams, and spam. It's like, wait, what would be the third one?
I don't know.
And ham.
and Rams.
Yeah, spam, scams, and ram. It's like
Because you
computer
get
memory.
rammed. You're kind of getting.
yeah.
You're getting FUCKED.
Sure, sir.
You're getting rammed.
Sure, sir.
So they said it was pertained to that, and now here's the thing. Several months ago, the same thing happened to just one video of mine, and it had 600,000 views, and it got removed because of violations of scams and spams and rams, and it took me a couple of weeks of.
What video?
Oh, it was called Man Gives Birth, but it was a preview video, and it was only the first 20 seconds that didn't show anything inappropriate in any way whatsoever, It was just a preview video, and
That's a scam because you're teasing people and you don't get
Yeah,
to see the birth.
that's
but
what
so
happened.
trailers
Sounds like a scam, dude.
is trailers not
Sounds like-
allowed?
sounds like spam and scam to
Well,
me.
yeah, I guess every movie trailer and TV show trailer on YouTube is a scam.
Flag 'em.
Yeah, but then they kind of said, well, in the guidelines, I was looking at the guidelines. They said, well, you're not meant to. They flagged things where if they're trying to redirect people to other websites, but I don't.
Was that redirecting to Vimeo?
Well, at the end of the video, it says for the full video, go to Vimeo.
Well, you can't do that.
But wait, here's the thing.
Sounds like spam.
Every trailer does that.
That's like going to
that's-
McDonald's and saying, "Here's my coupon for Burger King."
Yeah.
But that's every trailer.
I'm team YouTube on that one.
That's every trailer, right?
Well,
They
YouTube's
say,
not telling you go watch a movie on Vimeo.
No, watch HB. If you want to see this, okay, they show you a clip from a show, and they say you want to watch the whole show, go to TBS.com or go to HBO or whatever.
It's not a competitor.
Or go to Bandcamp if you want to hear the whole album. Go to Bandcamp or go to.
I'm not going
actually,
to Bandcamp to hear music.
Not only that, but do people when they have, even YouTube allows you
One
to put
time at
links.
Bandcamp, I downloaded a FLAC file.
She stuck a flute in a
Sorry.
cat.
Sorry, Brian.
But even YouTube.
Okay,
lets you
well,
put,
let's move on.
Okay, well, I
this-
just
you
saying-
know,
all right,
I
we're
really
sorry
would love
that
to get into
happened.
the weeds and the finer legal
Right.
jargon.
Anyway,
of
my
this.
point is this: is that a real person helped out and got a real person to look at it, and someone with
You got a YouTuber to help you?
yeah, a true YouTuber, someone with a thinking brain looked at it and said, "Oh yeah, there's no problem with this." Just to be safe, I edited out the end of the video. You can edit in YouTube, so that it didn't have the thing that said for the full video, go to Vimeo. And anyway, maybe it's related to that video, but I don't know. It doesn't make sense because there were no strikes on the channel. That video was
listeners,
reinstated.
guys, if you want to check out the YouTube channel that's not working, you should check it out right now. What is the handle?
YouTube.com/Brent Weinbach.
Brent Weinbach.
right.
If you want to see the channel not working, check it out.
Well, hopefully it is back by now,
but-
by the time you listen to this.
Yeah.
But it might, maybe it's take a couple
Yeah,
weeks.
there's millions of people who bookmark it every day. Go check it out.
I'll just say this. I don't like having the one video down was not that big a deal, but having the whole channel not down or not up, that's annoying to have the whole thing.
Are you saying
down.
you don't like having one video down is annoying, but having your whole channel lost is more annoying? I just want to get that straight.
Yeah, let me get that straight.
yeah.
Yeah,
I guess I
think that's
can.
what
I guess
you're
I could see
saying.
that.
That does.
But
that
no,
is worse.
That makes sense,
and it
yeah.
makes me want it back up sooner than I don't want it to take a couple or a few weeks.
Yeah, because all the videos are gone.
Why would you?
Well,
Real People was an American.
Why don't you do a play until then? Do a play. You could do live plays of your videos.
It's like,
Oh, yeah.
It's called like U Stage.
Yeah.
Go to U Stage.
Funny. It's just live.
You can start of the video. You go, "What's up, black boxers?" You know.
Yeah.
So
Just go to
And just do your one-man
ustage.com/.
show live on YouTube.
ustage.com/Brent Weinbach. It's a place you walk to.
Yeah.
Anyway, this show called Real People was an American reality television series that originally aired on NBC from 1979 to 1984, Wednesdays from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Its initial episodes aired live. Real People featured real people as opposed to celebrities with unique occupations or hobbies.
Didn't they just rename that show Cops?
And guess who was on it?
Who?
Byron Allen.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me. That guy's had his hand in everything for
that's
years.
where you got to start.
I used to like watching his.
Comics Unleashed.
No, well, I watched that. Well, he used to have a show where he'd do movie junkets and interview people,
Oh, yeah.
and I was like movies and stuff, so I would like watch it.
Yeah,
but it was always just like. It would always start with him naming a bunch of famous people. He'd be like Adam Sandler and blah blah blah, and whoever was on the show. And then over the course of watching the show a couple times, I don't know, so I was like 14 or something when I was watching this, and like, but you'd realize that like, oh, I was like, this guy's got all these like pretty high profile famous people or whatever to interview. But then you notice that he never had a set. It was always movie junkets compiled together. So he would like, let's say it was Drew Barrymore for Never Been Kissed or something like that. He would be asking her questions, and that poster for that movie would be behind her. But he wouldn't ask her about that movie, and then it'd be like Mel Gibson or whoever. And you realize like, oh, he goes to junkets, and this is pretty smart. He'll just like ask them evergreen questions or ones that don't have to do with the film, and then he'll compile those, and it looks like he had all these people like on this show, which he did technically.
That's funny.
Yeah, and that was the Byron Allen show. But then Comics Unleashed later, comically, that was such an awful show. But I loved watching the really like forced transitions on that show because, you know, like he would have whatever was it like 4 guest comics on, then ask them a question that would tee them up for their bit, you know. But I remember one where he was like, what did he say? He like basically one would be like, "Hey man, I heard you like fire trucks." Like, "Yeah man, fire trucks crazy." Blah blah blah, and just going about fire trucks. And I remember one episode. I wish I could remember which guest it was, so I could look it up. But it looked like he just totally forgot the transition or couldn't see the card or something. And he goes, "Man, I heard you like talking." And he goes, "Yeah, man, blah, 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 airplane food's crazy," or whatever. And it was just like...
Oh, it didn't have anything to do with...
Yeah. And
I heard you like
I heard
talking.
you like talking. And the guy was like, "Yeah, here's my bit about whatever, you know, pretzel rods or
You
whatever."
never
it was
did
on
that,
about.
did you, Brent?
No, I tried to get on it, though.
Eric Andre did it, didn't he? He was on one. I remember Tom Green was on one, I think. I can't remember.
I tried to get up on that. I saw the Booker used to hang out at the Improv.
I feel like I saw some of my friends on there. It's so... Yeah.
I would have been down. I'm down for stuff like that, you know.
Byron Allen seems to have figured out how to make like TV, like you said, like asking those evergreen questions, just the cheapest TV, just content.
He makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he figured out, he like hacked the system.
Not
Yeah,
only
yeah.
that, he also figured out a way how to sell his shows to different affiliates and stuff or something. I know
he's super clever.
He has
yeah.
this whole system where, because he has a new show where it's a game show, I think, right? Doesn't he? Do you know about that?
I don't know about
A lot
it,
of
but it
people
makes
we know
sense.
do it. You know, I think he does that. This game show, and
And he looks like he
comedians.
hasn't aged in like 30 years.
Right. I think, didn't he do voices on Schoolhouse Rocks or something like that?
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, he's not even that old. I mean,
What is he, late 60s?
well, no, I mean, he was born in 1961, so
What? Really?
if he was on Real
Oh,
People in
wow, he was a-
1979, he was like 18 years old.
That can't be. It can't be. That's probably fake, right?
Wow, no wonder he doesn't look that
That
old.
can't
for
be.
his age.
Right? That can't be.
He was I mean,
Well, how old is he?
he was like, yeah, he was a teenager if he was on Real
So is
People
he
in 1979.
61? Am I doing the math right? Or is that
61. So
51?
he's 60 years old.
Well, that might not be accurate. It might be.
Oh, you think he's lying on his wiki? He could be.
Well, he's not. I mean, somebody maybe just doesn't have the info.
I'm lying on my
people.
wiki.
There's definitely people with the wrong ages on the internet.
Yeah, he probably hacked that. He's like, why can't I just put a different birth year?
Oh, you notice? Oh, well, I guess we were talking about musicians before.
I was just trying to look up his new show, but whatever.
I was just thinking of artists that I feel like still always are solid. I think Mike Judge, everything he comes out with, I like.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to someone like that, like a filmmaker,
But that's different.
comedian kind of, and he's not even that old.
Yeah, and
What
well,
is he
he's
like?
also not a visual. I mean, he's not an on-camera.
I guess
or
the
in front of
question
people
I always
presence,
wonder
I
about
guess,
is
but-
musicians because
Because it's about pop.
Yeah,
because
it's so
it's-
youth-oriented.
How do you stay relevant to kids?
But you know who seems to like gracefully just keep going is Bob Dylan. And I'm not even a Bob Dylan fan, but
Yeah.
he just seems to like he never really did anything corny or like tried
Yeah.
to stay relevant, or he just
Or-
kind of did
or I
his own
guess-
thing, and it always seemed to be quality.
What about Bruce Springsteen?
Oh
There you
yeah,
go.
he's done more gracefully. That soul patch could take a hike, but
boss.
But
But
otherwise,
kids don't know about Bruce, do they?
I don't think anybody under 25 knows about anything that happened past 17 minutes ago. I
Right,
don't know.
exactly. Yeah.
That just sounds like old angry guy talk, but like it's I think the turnover rate, I don't know, it's funny just with the internet because you have the option to see anything that's ever existed, but I guess just like growing up we still had reruns, so we would see stuff that wasn't from our generation.
Yeah,
It was just sort of zeitgeisty leftovers and you'd be familiar with it.
Reruns
but now,
don't happen anymore, huh?
not like, I mean, well, they do, but you can choose not to watch them.
Right,
Because there's
that's
so many more
interesting.
options.
That is weird how
Do you think things are better now,
They're
where
better and worse.
you can just pull up what you want, or and Brent, do you prefer like when you had to tune in to Real People at 8/7 Central?
I think it was a cool time to flip through the channels or just watch whatever you were going to. I mean, that's.
You know what the
there's
cool
something
thing about
to
that was like everyone saw the same stuff. So you go to school
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
and everyone knows the same stuff. Now
Right.
it's like
Everything's in their own little echo chamber or whatever.
Right.
You know, whether it's entertainment or news or whatever. It's like choose your own adventure.
like if I
Your
want to
media
if I was in
diet.
high school now and I wanted to find my fellow friends who were into Real People,
Yeah.
I'd have a hard time.
But at the
Anyone
same,
else is a Real People fan club?
I
here?
like the convenience of now,
Yeah.
but I feel like also it's taken away sort of the shared enjoyment of things.
Yeah, the shared enjoyment.
Yeah.
That's
what's been
that's what's
dinged.
missing.
But you
and
know-
with music too, like it sucks listening to the radio with all the ads. But
I like that because it sounds stupid, but I'm like when I'm driving, that's the only thing that puts me in touch with like LA local.
Yeah.
It's just the ads.
well,
Not that I like the ads, but I like that part of it. I'm like, oh, okay, I know, where the fucking jewelry exchange in Tustin is or whatever, just
Right,
like,
okay.
garbage.
People it depends on the kid, but sometimes these days, a curious mind, whether they be in high school or whatever, they can really find out they can go on down an interesting rabbit hole or whatever on the internet now. They have access to that, and they can learn about
For
if
sure.
they want to, if they have the mind to do it. They can
Yeah.
they can really delve into old stuff and whatever. They don't. So
they have no choice.
they have no choice.
They've got every choice.
No. I mean, what I mean is they don't. They can go outside. I mean, they can learn about other. They can learn. You have access to so much more. It's a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, they can have the more
Well, that's what I'm
curious.
saying. I feel like
Yeah.
everything's better, and
Yeah.
everything. Each year, everything gets better and worse.
I mean, look. Ultimately, I missed the '80s. I wish it was still the '80s in every way. But whatever. Yeah. Don't you wish it was the '80s still?
I mean, there's elements of any era that I like, and plenty that I'm happy to see gone. I don't know. I think with entertainment now, there's just like never been more ways to make less money, which is a bummer
Right.
and exciting.
Well, let's talk about Andre for a little bit. We have about
well, he's got
10, 15 minutes left.
Is that all we got left?
Well, no, then we're gonna talk. Then we're gonna do the After Dark
Oh,
if you want to
gotcha.
hang around for that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Well,
but-
he's got a new look.
He's got a new look.
I mean,
You know,
it was-
we didn't
new
really
to
mention
me.
this to our listeners, but you were in New Zealand for the whole pandemic.
Not the whole pandemic.
But you
A
pretty
good
much
chunk.
missed a lot of it.
A good
I guess the
chunk.
pandemic's
Well,
still
that's
still
one thing I've
happening.
noticed since I was gone.
The heart of it.
Friends will talk to me like I wasn't there for any of it, and I was like, "Yo, I was there from March until August when LA got insane and all the shit went down."
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying I'm not claiming to have been
For
there
some reason,
the
I
whole
thought you
thing.
were. I thought you were there earlier.
No, I left in August. I mean, I'm thankful that I was gone for a good chunk of it, but but sometimes people talk to me like I missed the whole thing. I was like, no, man, I was happy to get the fuck out of here when I did. It wasn't like lost on me. Like I was definitely, holed up like
Did you-
everybody else was for a chunk at least.
Were you working
But-
there, or were you just tagging along with your girlfriend?
Both, but primarily tagging along. Yeah, it was a nice +1. It was like getting the golden ticket to the Willy Wonka factory
so you got
during
a plus,
COVID.
You got a +1. She was working on a TV show there.
She was working on Cowboy Bebop. Yeah, and then I went over there and I mostly wrote and like walked around and played with neighborhood cats.
Yeah, I want to know what your day-to-day was.
Most day-to-day, it was pretty nice. I would get up whenever, and then I would draw. I got way back into drawing again. That was nice. And then I would write, and then I would try to figure out how to pitch a show, a hidden camera show during a pandemic, which didn't, surprise, it didn't sell. And then the goal of the show was, it was written and done before the pandemic happened, but it was like, anyway, that's a whole other thing. But doing pitch meetings during the pandemic was about the most pointless fucking thing I've ever done, I'll say that. But
Are they all on Zoom?
Yeah.
And you're
it was
pitching
on Zoom.
to U.S.
Yeah,
stuff.
and like in hopes of like maybe this will be over by the time, you know,
Right.
like if they green light this and then all the paperwork and contract shit always takes forever. So maybe by the time that's all done, we can actually just go out and do this thing, you know, kind of wishfully
That
thinking.
thing takes forever.
Trying to be proactive with whatever you could. Anyway, that was kind of a side thing. But anyway, the day-to-day, draw, write. There was a good like, there was a little like brunchy breakfast spot near us that we would go to, get that.
What was that called?
Ozone.
Okay.
It's good. And
Ozone?
Ozone. That's how I'd say it. And then, but Ozone was good. And I've never been much for breakfast foods, but man, eggs in New Zealand taste so fucking good. They're so good.
Really?
Yeah.
What's so good about it?
I think it's just because it's fresher stuff. And I'm sure you can get fresh stuff here, but like it's just fresh by default there at a lot of places, you know? It's either like shipped in from far away and like totally like packed up or super fresh from the island. And I remember like, purple onions tasted so good there. There was just a handful of things that were just like really hit hard. But anyway, the eggs there are really, really good. So anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Were you able to nail down a New Zealand accent?
No, I don't think so. But then I would go to Ozone and then walk around. I would literally walk around and there's just so many neighborhood cats and like outdoor cats that were friendly, and I guess there are not any predators towards cats, so all the cats there are extra friendly. And I just go around and like pet neighborhood cats and listen to music, and then go to like a coffee shop and just write. And then on the weekends or days off she had, we would go on like little trips to crazy looking New Zealand mountainy beach places and different things like that. It was really nice. I was really happy and lucky to get to go there.
And then you got a job you got some work out there?
Yeah, I guess that's top secret.
You can't talk about it yet?
I guess, I don't know. But
that's exciting.
it's not that exciting ultimately. I'll fill you in on the next episode.
Let me know does it rhyme with Steve or Naxon? I'm trying to think of like a Peter Jackson like rhyme.
I'm
Are you the new
I'm
Hobbit?
the Hobbit.
Are you the newest Hobbit on the
I
scene?
knew it.
I'm the new Hobbit. I'm the new Avatar Hobbit.
Oh, you got the yeah.
Does it rhyme? Does this movie, is it related to something that rhymes with Narvel?
Narvel. Novel. It's like almost not even worth mentioning. It was just sort of technically I did work at
Well, that's not related to the show.
Cool. That's cool that you're out there and then you're.
I wanted to try.
Can I ask you this? Were you cast as like an American guy in a Kiwi production or anything?
Sort of, yeah. It was kind of ultimately irrelevant. I shouldn't have been proud of it. It's like, I don't know. It's whatever. It's so stupid.
Yeah, okay, well, don't talk about
I
it.
hate secret-y entertainment stuff because it always sounds like you're being douchey, but it's more just like, am I not supposed to say something? Is that a thing? Because it's a thing. And then you're like, now I sound like I'm hiding something much bigger, but it's more just like a really not interesting thing that's been built up.
I wrote this down. Actually, that's funny because I think it's in LA, a lot of people that are your friends are filled with more secrets than other places because of NDAs.
Yeah.
So you encounter more people here that are like keeping secrets from you because of NDAs.
I got an idea for a show.
Yeah, okay.
It's called Hollywood Secrets.
Yeah.
And you basically just it's people revealing things about products and shows and things, but
Right.
it's not gossip or anything.
Are they
It's
under
just-
black? They have a silhouette.
Yeah.
Well, it's like certain
There's a
things.
new iPhone coming out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or even just something as simple as yeah, there's a new Marvel movie coming out.
Yeah.
And it's going to be directed actually by Quentin Tarantino. I'm not supposed to say it, or whatever. I'm just kind of
Right.
And
It's starring Leonardo DiCaprio. it's another Western.
Well, I guess I always think it's just sort of like, it's like,
Hollywood Secrets.
Hollywood
With
Secrets.
Byron Allen.
oh yeah, that would be good.
Hollywood
Do
Secrets
that.
with Byron Allen. So he just goes to press junkets, right? And he just does a silhouette and pitches down the voice of the actor, whoever is there at the press junket, and he calls it Hollywood
I'd
Secrets.
like to see anonymous press.
Dude, and people just squealing their NDAs. Yeah. That'd be amazing. And then they have to sign a double NDA for that one, for that show.
It's just funny because it's not about any scandals or anything. It's not about,
Right.
it's just stuff that you're going to find out about anyway.
Right,
later on,
right.
you know?
Yeah, they act like everything's such a secret. You
Well-
can't say anything.
Well, it's like, the thing.
What's gonna, like, I signed one for, I mean, now I don't even know if I should even say it, but I signed
There you go.
something for something that
Do it in a deep voice.
I signed an NDA for some promotional videos that I did for an upcoming tour. And what is the world going to come crashing
Well,
to
part
a
of it-
halt if people find out that some tour is happening in a year from now?
Well, also, I mean, there's different things to varying degrees of who gives a shit, obviously. But, like, I don't know. Like, I guess my thought is, like, well, I agreed to do that. So, out of respect to the people that I said I would not talk about it, I won't talk about it.
I mean, I keep my mouth shut.
So that's
but-
just the way if I, like, am making something, I'm like, hey, can you not post this or do that? I would hope that they would. You know what I mean? So I just think of it in simple terms like that. But I can see on like some of these big things, it's like if someone was like, I was going to play this character, but then I didn't, then the fucking little like weird nerd zone or whatever, the hardcore fans, whatever you want to call them, will be like, oh, so by default, if that character was going to be in there, that character's not going to be in there, which means that this is going to it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to write up a whole spoiler because now I know this. And it's
Well,
like,
I
it ruins it
understand-
for people who just want to go see something.
I understand if it's like a Marvel movie or something that has this. I guess they gotta, keep it a surprise for
They want
the.
to keep one of the 800 movies
They don't
want to
leak. If it's something that's a leak, but some leaks are like, who cares?
Yeah, yeah,
Man,
yeah.
this would be a funny sketch, though. Really, to do Hollywood Secrets.
Yeah.
and
Let's do it.
And then it just shows these people with the silhouette and the deep voice. That'd just be really funny.
shots in Georgia for a chase scene.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
J.J. Abrams
I
had
think
me do some pickups in Helena, Montana. That's where we shot it.
I think NDAs should be maybe now that I'm thinking about it, people should be signing NDAs more. Mm-hmm. Not about like
Like what you got for lunch. Like, oh, what'd you have? I can't really talk about
people
it.
are always talking shit about people. It's like I'll tell you what I heard. I'll tell you what I heard. You sign this.
Shit
it's like a
talking
little
NDAs.
app. You
That would
just
be
sign an
good.
NDA, like NDA app. I think like moms should sign NDAs.
It'd be
You
called, it
know?
could be called any DA.
Any DA.
Like if
Yeah,
I go
any-
visit my mom and we're at like TJ Maxx, and she like talks to everybody. It's like, this is my son. He's from L.A. He worked on Portlandia or whatever. They're saying
Yeah.
stuff that I'm like, Mom, just shut up. Like, here, sign this NDA, Mom. Don't say shit.
She's really proud of little Doug.
She's
You know what's
proud, but it's
funny?
like embarrassing. I'm
Moms-
like, that's something that I did 10 years ago. or
Moms
whatever.
are not capable of adhering to NDAs. I think even if you tell your
I think
mom
if you
not to
birth
say
the
something-
child, like you don't have to do NDAs.
Well, no, but what I'm trying to say is, I think maybe your mom's like this. My mom's like this. You tell her something, and you don't want her telling people. She's gonna tell people.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't tell my mom a lot of stuff.
Does your mom, does she talk a lot?
She'll just brag about things, and it's. If
Did you
something's-
have you told her
It's like
your
brag stuff.
name? Does she know your name?
I don't want her just bragging in my name everywhere.
Yeah.
No, no, but they'll. If something, I don't tell her anything until it happened already, so that she's not going to spoil anything. So, for example, in 2006, I taped Craig Ferguson show. The late show with Craig Ferguson. It had a good set on it and everything. And I didn't even want to tell. I told her that I was going to be on. I did tell her I was going to be on. I thought I was, and they ended up cutting my set. Oh. And they, it just happens to me all the time. I just get my accounts and my appearances. They get canceled.
Yeah.
And anyway, she told a bunch of people, and then it didn't
shit's so
happen. And I
salty.
said,
Yeah.
don't do it. Don't tell anybody just yet, or something like that.
Oh, my mom, I had like, that show I was developing.
Yeah.
And I was actually going to cast my mom, and I was having her do auditions for
Yeah.
it and
Were
stuff.
you really? Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
my mom's in my new movie.
Yeah. And then she says it all over Facebook and stuff, and I'm like, don't say anything. Or, she just tells.
Should've had her
And then
sign
of
that
course
NDA.
it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
it doesn't, it gets canceled or whatever.
That's also the other thing is like
now I
sometimes you
feel
want to talk about
stupid
something
because people want to ask about it. And I'm like, yeah, don't say anything.
Right.
I don't want to say anything about anything I'm doing until it's like straight up.
until it's in the past.
Until it's on air.
Yeah,
or whatever.
exactly.
Say I have a show in development.
That's what I
agree.
said. If it happened already, that's when
Right.
I'll tell her. Because, by
Right.
the way, Portlandia, you mentioned Portlandia. If your mom brags about, same thing with me, because I was in a sketch for Portlandia and it didn't air. And same thing, my mom was all bragging about
I
that
brag
and
about
stuff.
watching Portland.
Wait, what sketch were you in?
It was the sketch where it's like Fred Armisen and me were father and son. And but they dyed my hair black. And his hair, he had a gray wig on, so it made us look, more different in age. But we're basically just putting a TV on a wall, mounting it, and but there's subtitles to say what the subtext was of our conversation. We're having a banal conversation about just mounting the wall, but the subtitles are saying what's really being said.
Yeah.
It was actually funny. It was a
a
funny
good
sketch.
concept.
It's a
Yeah.
funny idea. And
So can you give an example of what happened?
well, it basically I go in and
Are you breaking your NDA right now?
oh right. No, there was no NDA, so this is not a Hollywood secret. But I should just say it with a deep voice
It was
anyway.
done with a
though.
Portland
Well,
handshake.
we're happy we're sorry. I wanted to start.
What if everybody talked like that? Actually, they delocated was kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I just basically my character broke up with his girlfriend, and then it seems like Fred Armisen's character is say, well, you want to help me, mount this thing? And as we're mounting it, it seems like, it's just all a metaphor for this, and it's like, and then he goes into this thing how he cheated on the guy's mom, and,
Right.
And that, but then they worked it out. And it's all said in the subtitles, but they're just saying boring stuff like, so what you want to do is, okay, so we need to screw it in and then apply the lever here, or whatever. But it's supposed to, anyway, whatever. It's something you need to see. I can't really explain it. I'm not doing a good job
So
explaining.
he'd be like,
you could probably do a better job.
he'll probably be like, so how's everything with Lisa? Maybe. And then you're like, oh, she's okay. And then the subtitle will be like, yeah, we're definitely breaking up, or something like that.
It was no, but it would pertain to the mounting the TV on the wall.
Oh.
So, okay,
You're like, yes,
put two screws in here, and then and then the subtitle will say, "I actually did cheat on your mom at one point," and then I'll
Well,
say,
no, I don't like it as much. That doesn't make any sense.
I don't like. That's not very family friendly.
He's like this. He's like, how's your mom? He's like, zing, zing. He's like, I've been screwing around,
No, it's not, it wasn't that on the nose, but it was like that. No, you would like it. I'll show you. The
I
sketch.
mounted someone else.
I have
I've still
I have
never,
a copy of it. I'll send it to you.
I've never been to Portland.
Really?
Yeah,
That's not true.
it's true. I'd like to go there.
You've
I've never
never
been
been-
there or Seattle. Yeah.
That seems like a place you definitely, especially Seattle, you would have totally gone to Seattle.
Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't been yet. I mean, it's my own doing.
I'm so
but I just-
surprised about that. That you never.
I like
been there
rain.
before.
I like hot weather, but I like rain.
I'm surprised you never did, say, the Bridgetown Festival. or
It was something I meant to sort of do. I don't know, but it was my fault for not being proactive about it. It would like come up and I'd be like, "Oh, it's happening now." Right. Well, I missed that. But also, no one ever reached out to me about it. I mean, not that they had to, but it was sort of like I would always remember it was happening as soon as it came up and it was happening.
Real quick before we do wrap this up, you said you made a movie?
Yeah, this summer.
I'm sorry, I didn't even know that.
we got to talk about that in After
Yeah.
Dark.
Yeah, sorry, public out there.
Because that,
I thought we were just hanging out, you know what I mean? I thought we were just sort of, oh yeah, Andre's coming on, and we know Andre, so I just thought it was a hangout vibe.
Well,
I didn't
that's
know that there
fine.
was,
Yeah.
It is.
No, but I didn't know that you had.
He's got a Hollywood
Well, I mean,
secret.
it's not out to be viewed yet. So
Is it a Hollywood secret?
It's not a Hollywood secret. I mean, I won't give away the. I don't know how we want to market. Here's an actual reason of why I won't say what the story is fully about, is because I haven't decided on how I want to market it when the time does come. Because if I say it now on the internet, then it's just out there.
Is your look
Yeah.
right now? Does that pertain to the movie?
Yes, yeah, it does. Well, I cut my hair for a show that I pretty much am not in, and then I auditioned for.
Wait, what about the Paramount show?
That's what I'm getting to.
My
and
bad.
I auditioned.
My bad.
I auditioned for another show when my hair was sort of like this, and they were like, oh my God, keep your hair like that. And I was like, okay. And then I kept it like that. And then when I did my own movie, I was like, I kind of want to do a version of this while it's like this, but I made it way more blonde for my movie. So it looked like, a different character or whatever. Yeah.
And why have you kept it at this point?
Well, I still have one more scene to shoot. Most of it was shot in Cincinnati, but I have one scene to shoot in LA or whatever, a couple little inserty bits. So I have to have my hair like this for that. But also, this just feels like me now. Like it's almost been a year of having roughly this, so I don't know.
So you're not going to take it off after you're done shooting those?
I don't know what my plan is. I don't have big plans yet. Some days I'm like, this is awesome. I'm keeping this. And other days I'm like, I want to just,
with the
change
beard
up again.
You look like Paul. You kind of look like Paul.
Oh, I think that's the beard.
I'm saying with the beard, so you look like Paul. Yeah.
People have thought we're siblings before.
You look like it right now to me.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Well, let's talk about how do you. Well, before we wrap this up,
sure.
Let's please plug anything that you'd like, or tell people where to find Andre Hyland content, because you do a lot of content. You do a lot of fun stories on Instagram.
Yeah, I'd say my Instagram stories is probably my most proactive online place.
That's where I do most of my content is stories on Instagram.
Yeah, because I used to make loads of YouTube videos.
I don't do crap for the grid.
Yeah.
If I'm putting something on the grid, I'm being too precious about the grid. I gotta start putting.
I might be a little precious.
Some people are like, "Here's a picture of me."
Yeah,
I can't imagine just putting a picture of myself on the grid.
I like to kind of keep the amount of photos of myself limited on the grid.
Absolutely.
Just because, like,
who cares?
I don't know. I mean, everybody do whatever they want to do, but like, I don't know. I just feel like, just partially, I'm just like, it's weird to have that many images of myself on the internet. I don't know. I guess it's not weird at all at this point, but it seems kind of weird. And then also, I just think, if I was looking at this, what would I find interesting? Probably not just pictures of myself every time, but, I don't know. But, who gives a shit? But I try to just stick it to stuff I think funny or weird or interesting.
Agree.
That I see on the street,
I'll put a picture of myself if it's something special or something funny. Or,
yeah. Not like, Tuesday, here I am.
Look at my cute jacket.
But I don't know. There's different modes of operation for different people and what they do and so forth. But Instagram, I'd say, is the best place to see anything new I'm doing or shows I post about or any projects.
And that's just Andre Hyland.
The Andre Hyland.
The Andre Hyland.
Because early on, Andre Hyland was taken, and then I realized, that was me who took it, and I forgot whatever the password is. But I guess I can change the handle now, right? You can change your fucking thing.
No,
you can't. You're done with it. Okay,
I don't know.
Well,
Actually,
I haven't explored it.
I don't even know.
People do it.
But anyway, it's like, yeah. So anyway, the Andre Hyland.
By the way, Brent Weinbach was taken on Instagram, and it wasn't me.
Really?
Okay. So I had to make mine Brent Weinbach comedy.
Oh, that's annoying. Yeah.
There's one guy that DMs me all the time, and he's like mental, and he sends me all this stuff that's like I don't even care about.
Oh, that's cool.
But then he tricks me because every time it looks like a different person, and then he talks to me like we're best friends or something, And I'm like, who is this again? Sometimes I'm like, who are you again? And he tells me, I'm like, I got tricked again.
That gets me too, because
every single time he's like on a daily basis he's changing his thing.
Because I'm friendly and interact.
I try to be
people,
friendly, yeah.
But then there's some people where you're just like, dude, I don't know you. Like, why? I mean, whatever. I'm sure someone who enjoys my whatever will listen to this and they'll think I'm talking about them. But the ones that do this are more egregious, so it's not just normal polite interactions.
There's a couple people that send me tons of stuff on a daily basis.
Yo, what am I supposed to do?
I don't want to block.
I don't want to be rude, but I don't know. I'm just, I can't, I don't know.
I don't want to block them because then they'll be like, they blocked me, and then they go mental.
Yeah.
Gotta be nice.
I had my first weirdo stalker situation when I was in Canada this year.
Ooh, let's hear about it. Wait, let's go to After Dark. Then we'll hear about that.
Oh, well, speaking of the stalker situation, I was in Canada shooting Guilty Party.
Mm-hmm.
It was a brief stalker situation.
Plug that because that's on Paramount.
Yeah.
Paramount Plus?
It's on Paramount Positive.
How do you...
Paramount
and what? And so that's not on any kind of like Netflix or Hulu or nothing?
No, because it's Paramount streaming.
How much is that?
Actually, someone messaged me yesterday saying, will Guilty Party be on Netflix or iTunes? And I was like, I don't think so, because the whole point of like streaming companies making their own catalog is so you go to their place. Maybe down the road, who knows? But anyway, as of now, I think there's 5 episodes up. They do 1 episode a week, kind of HBO style, but it's every Thursday.
And you worked with
Kate Beckinsale.
Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah, and She's very nice, funny person.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Well, After Dark, tell us the real story.
that is actually the real
Kate
story.
Beckinsale,
It was like
she hogged the bagels at the.
she took us to a kangaroo farm
Ooh.
in Canada. That was pretty cool.
What?
Yeah.
All
you know,
right. Well, now we're
classic
getting
Canada
interesting.
situation.
Now we're getting interesting. We got to go After Dark. And if you want to listen to the After Dark, go to patreon.com/poundcast. Sign up today.
Yeah, and if you want to see Guilty Party, get yourself a little Paramount Positive. What's it called? Subscription. Yeah.
You want to test Paramount Positive?
Yeah. Test that Paramount Positive. That's right.
Oh, I'm Paramount Negative.
I don't want any Paramount negatives out there. We got to turn this around.
Yeah, we gotta turn
We
this
got to get
around.
the numbers
You got to
up.
infect people with Paramount. You got to start spreading that Paramount around.
Check out some Guilty Party. You see me running around with a mullet with Kate Beckinsale and a bunch of other people, and there's no kangaroos in the show, but they're in Canada.
All right, well, we'll get into it.
yeah.
We'll get into it.
Well, thank you to Aaron Bruntgart behind the scenes.
He's
here.
behind the boards over there.
He's behind the boards. He's all up in the video. Not really, but
He's in a Albert Pujols cosplay outfit. With
he is
St. Louis
all,
Cardinals hat.
He is all up in the video in the sense that he's editing. You know, he's doing the live edit of the video. Right
He
now.
is switching live.
It'd be more of a Yadier Molina at this point, wouldn't it? Yeah.
And then thank you to the Poundcast team, which is Chloe Bonilla, Jack Birch, El Bircho on social media, and Jackie Montana. Thank you to, give it up for those. And and also thank you to Louisville Vegan Foods, Louisville Vegan Jerky, and thank you to Racket.com.
Do you want to thank the YouTube overlords that took your channel down and just gave us a lot of content?
No,
for us today?
thank you to them. Okay, we'll see you after dark, or we'll see you next week. Peace.
Bye.
Do you want to just start this with him? Because I'm going to go pee real quick.
Sure.
It'll just be like 1-2 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Welcome to After Dark. I'm going to kick it over to Brent to take over, and I'll be back in. I'll be back in like
Where did
2
this
minutes
go?
max.
He's got to
camera I'm
drain
looking
this
at
lizard, I think. I think he wanted
The
to
lizard
drain
is
his lizard.
swole.
Yeah. It's going to take a little Doug pee.
Yeah, I guess this is the first time I'm seeing you in person, right?
Yeah, 'cause I
I-
was out of town for a long time, and then when I was in town in July, I called you on a whim, as we do, to see if we want to go late night tacos.
Yeah,
but I just got your voicemail.
And I came home to it. I think might have been at a show or something.
Yeah.
And I came home to the message, and it was nice to hear from you on my answer machine, which I
Yeah.
hadn't heard from in a while.
I think later I realized you had a show at the Improvisation Theater
Yes, I was at the Improvisation. Yeah.
on Melrose.
It's funny when people refer to the improv as the Improvisation. Usually, it's a very it's kind of a legendary act, you know. It's somebody who performed there in the 70s or something,
okay.
or whatever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's funny. Yeah, it was 1978, and we met at the Improvisation. I was.
We were at
you
the
know,
bar, the Improvisation.
Yeah, it's always somebody who's been around a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you know what?
Bud was there.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, Bud was at the bar as well, and we were. But so I like to call it the Impro 5. You know that joke?
Oh, no, I don't know that joke.
My friend Arj Barker, he made that
Yeah.
joke, and he said, "Oh, it's nice to be here at the Impro 5 because the big improv sign is in back of you when you say that," and I like that. That's a nice little way to call it, the Impro 5. Yeah, well, you were in Hollywood that night?
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing, but I was passing through the area, and I was like, oh, I should call Brent.
I like you being in Hollywood because that seems like something you should be in, is Hollywood. And what I mean by that is, you shoot a lot of videos in Hollywood, or you did shoot a lot of videos in Hollywood, and I kind of like how you do this sort of satirical thing about Hollywood stuff. you know? And it just, I don't know, I like you being in Hollywood. Like, it seems, I like the idea of you even living in Hollywood.
You used to do those junkets.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
That.
And
oh,
punk
that.
used to
wanna-
kind of prank people.
Yeah, that was fun. I miss doing those junkets. I don't know if that's, well, I won't say ever coming back, but no time soon. Everything's like Zoom junkets now. Or if it is an in-person junket, I can't cruise in the way I used to. Everything's so I mean, I get it for all the safety and everything, but it takes away the sort of casualness of, I used to be able to come with a producer, they look normal, and I would just hang around. And then, you know, when it was time to go in the room, then I would come in and sit down, and I'd just be this, you know, weirdo or whatever.
You've been doing so much stuff for so long. You do Jesse Miller.
Yeah.
You do
Tracy and Jesus.
Tracy Dean and Jesus, the
Hutchins.
band. Tim Hutchins. All those prank videos from Spike TV.
Fuel. Yeah.
Fuel
yeah,
TV.
yeah, yeah.
Fuel. Which was that on Spike TV?
No, it's funny. I pitched to Spike.
I
and
don't
it
know
was
why
one-
I got those mixed up.
Well, I mean, there was that kind of like.
Well, okay, what was that show on Fuel TV?
Stupid Face.
Stupid Face
Yeah,
on Fuel
yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
I actually did. I did stuff. for
Duncan
that.
did a lot of stuff on there too.
Yeah, I edited some stuff for Duncan on there.
I'm trying to think. And, I also did stuff for the Daily Habit on Fuel TV. That was
yeah.
fun doing all
Daily
that stuff.
Habit. That
I
was
missed
awesome.
that.
I like that channel.
Yeah.
I wish that channel was like so fun because it had like extreme sports, skateboarding,
Yeah.
and stuff I like. It's just a fun channel to just put on.
Yeah.
And let roll. Like,
It was big in Australia, apparently. It was
Yeah,
like Southern
that's too
California and
bad.
Australia were like its big markets, I think.
and it was something that you would see if you're like at a sports bar. It would just be like on. That's a fun channel.
Andre had a couple pilots with Comedy
Yeah,
Central.
you did
Pilot
like
with-
2 pilots of the same show, right?
No,
No, I
different.
did.
Well, you did the Jesse Miller
There was a
pilot.
character carryover. Yeah, but
Okay.
the first one was a sketch show, and JesseLler was part of that. Then,
Right.
like a year and a half later, I did the Jesse Miller talk show pilot.
I went to it.
Oh, yeah.
I was there.
That was fun taping. The hard
Came in
went
on a
to-
zip line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I saw later on Eastbound and Down, they did the zip line thing too. I mean, I love Eastbound and Down, but I was like, fuck, man, there goes another comparison when anybody sees this thing. And I was
Right.
doing it before that. I mean, no, it's not, there's a competition, but the sort of the zeitgeist
gag,
who
yeah.
crosses the finish line visually first,
Sure.
wins the public's opinion of who did something first. But yeah, that was fun. It's hard to have a live show
It's tough trying to make a TV
read on
show.
in a TV
I
environment.
really just. Why don't they greenlight us, man?
I don't know, man. And then I did another pilot
that
for
party over
Fox
here.
with the Lonely Island guys
Yeah.
that they produced. And then
I saw
that just
that.
got stuck in. I mean, it turned out cool, but that was another sketch show,
Yeah.
or like like street stuff mixed in, and then whatever. I hate.
He's
TV
done a
development
lot.
so much.
But you actually did a lot even during this whole time, this quarantine time, or
Yeah,
not
you made a
quarantine
freaking
time.
feature.
yeah.
How many
what-
features have you made now?
This is the only second feature I've made where I like wrote and directed it, man, I'm really looking forward to people seeing this next
So
one.
what is it about?
Yeah. How do you make it?
Or
how
do
does
you
a
not
guy
wanna
like
say?
you make a feature?
I
Don't
can
even
tell-
tell us what it's about.
Yeah,
All right.
it takes it.
I know what it's about. I'll go on Hollywood.
It takes
Secrets.
place this summer that just passed. I mean, not that it tells you anything. Sort of. Well, I can tell you sort of the vibe behind it. It's sort of like, and I'm sure no matter what where they land on anything, I feel like this past year and a half, a lot of people have been left with the feeling of like, knowing someone that they are friends with or care or love or have a relationship with, and going, oh God, you're a fucking idiot. Like, what? I'm totally on the opposite side of this thing.
I can relate.
But you're still this person that I care about and have this relationship with, and like, is what I think of you that one dimensional.
It's like having a family member and you see them wearing a mask, and it's like you're just a sheep.
But the irony is, someone who does feel that way still has this human feeling of being.
Well,
even
it
though-
probably goes both ways too.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to do that to like pander to
say I
everybody, but
voted-
it's just this fucking feeling that it's left with. It's like, what do I hear?
It's-
We're still
it's-
here. What the fuck do we do with
this
this?
fucked up
Like,
feeling where it's like,
yeah.
say I voted for Biden, and say a family member of mine voted for Trump. I'm looking at them like, how? How did you? What is the appeal there? And they're looking at me like, well, he's the worst person.
Exactly.
I can't believe he's a Biden voter.
Yeah.
Like I have relatives from Alabama, and
Yeah.
that's what they're saying about.
Yeah.
I'm just saying hypothetically, say that happens.
Sure.
So it's going
hypothetically.
both ways.
Yeah. But
Anyway,
it's different tiers and nuances.
So you're talking
of
about that
now.
kind of situation.
But that feeling, it's a
That
more sort
feeling.
of, it's surrounding that, and sort of like, I don't know, just imagine. I don't even know what the fuck to describe it. I mean,
how do you make a feature?
How do you make
how do you make a
we
feature?
don't talk about the movie. Talk about how you make.
Well,
it.
the movie's a comedy anyway. Blah blah blah. It's a big surprise. But like, how do you make a movie? Well, there's no one way to make a movie. That's for sure. Found that out a bunch. But like, this is definitely the DIY backyard approach, which I think is the quickest way. I don't know. When you have money or don't have money, both are difficult.
So you got
in their own
a
ways
camera guy?
and easy. Yeah, my camera guy.
Who's that?
Shane Johnston. He's the one who shot anything that I've had that went to Sundance. Like I shot with him. Like not everything we did together, but everything that we did together that got there was done with
Funnel.
him and I together. Funnel,
fourth?
Old Han, the fourth. Yeah.
And the fourth is your other feature.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
That's available on streaming.
It's on Peacock right now. Yeah.
Oh.
That's what's up. And then
Show off?
He's peacocking.
Yeah, exactly.
He's peacocking.
Really, it's on Peacock.
Yeah.
If you promote something on Peacock, it's called peacocking.
Yeah. Mystery taught me that from the game.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh, but how to make it? I don't know. I'll say this. You know the way, like we've all made like short videos and segments and stuff like that. A feature's the same fucking thing. It's all the same.
Just do more of it.
It's all the same elements, just a longer schedule. And you have to have a story that sustains that. But like, it's just like I think of a feature as 9 short films, 3 acts with 3 little
I hear that.
bits in it, and with a through line.
3 shorts per act.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Okay.
Now,
Give or take, but yeah, but I guess it's not so much it necessarily plays out that way when you watch it, but just to sort of, if you're going from like shorter segments to a feature, it just makes it seem like, oh, that's totally doable, and then you go do it.
When you wrote it, were you thinking about the 3-act structure and the character going through this hero's journey and all that stuff, or were you just had a story and
yes and no? I guess there was like sort of 3 sort of rough ideas that I'd had floating around in my head for a while, and then I just sort of connected them in a way. I remember like I made how am I saying this? Like basically I did this TV show this winter. That's the one, Guilty Party, that's out now. But like I was like, okay, so I got a little money in my pocket, so I can go make something and not have to worry about rent or whatever for a little while. So that makes a huge fucking difference. Like when I made the 4th, every day was like sweating it just because it was like I kind of put life on hold so I can finish this thing. And so everything else kind of crumbles around you as you get this big project done. But this one, I was like, okay, there's a little pocket of time where we can do that this summer. And as soon as I was like, okay, so in July we're going to shoot a movie. So, okay, I've got a time. And then Daniela Pineda, my girlfriend, but I mean, she's in it also, and she's a producer on it. And then Shane, who I've done stuff with, is a producer on it. So it's like, okay, the 3 of us are going to pull together and we're going to make this. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've all committed to this. So now it's like, okay, now I've got a deadline.
You got a team. So it's step 1, get your team.
Yeah, I've got a rough date, or pretty much a date in the summer where we're going to do it, and we've got a whatever. We're committed to this fucking thing. So now there's a time, and it's like, all right, well, let's just now. What am I saying? It's like now there's a deadline, so I got to write something. All right. And then anyway, I remember sitting in bed. I was like, tonight I'm just going to let my mind go, not listen to a fucking podcast or a bunch of bullshit. No offense to this podcast or any podcasts out there, but just sort of like free your mind, And I remember I was like just thinking of these like 3 different ideas, and it's like, oh, I could totally connect those. Oh, and that makes it much better. Instead of trying to do all these different ideas, just sort of tie them all together. And then, sorry, I don't know if it's like just a weird tangent, but like...
no, I'm...
And then, so then I was like, okay, there's the framework of it. And then the way I always write, and this is not very unique, it's just like I do beat sheets and then write it all out. Because I don't like just starting and writing, because you could delete like a bunch of scenes and you're like, I wasted so much time writing those scenes. So I like to do beat sheets, and I was like, there's the story. And then anyway, come July, I've got the story. But even as we were shooting, you're kind of discovering things, and I was updating and changing the script daily. But it wasn't like a sweaty version of it. It felt like a real like kind of exciting, like, oh yeah, we did that. Okay, well that didn't work, so we got to connect this to that. And then I would write something that would adjust that, and we would kind of just go out, and it was just kind of like movie camp this summer.
You don't write script outlines then?
No, I do write script outlines.
You do?
That's
Okay.
like the beat sheet, I guess. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'll make a beat sheet sometimes that's so...
Describe a beat sheet.
All right, like a beat sheet. Let's say what's like a scene in a movie. Like let's say Star Wars, for example. Like if I was writing that, like the first one, it's like Luke and Obi-Wan Kenobi go into bar, get into fight, meet Han Solo. Han Solo shoots somebody. They meet each other and agree to go on a ship. So that's like not writing the scene, but that's like the beats of when they went to that bar.
Right.
So I would write my scenes like that.
But you're just describing the action. You're not writing lines.
Yeah, but this is the preliminary thing, because I'm not going to spend all this time writing dialogue for a scene that I might just get rid of.
That's my question, though.
Yeah.
So you don't write out the lines. The dialogue. The dialogue.
I mean, do you mean ultimately, or do you mean in the first phase? Yeah.
Clearly, a beat sheet is
Yeah.
No, do you
all the
ever do
dialogue
it
is
though, or are you?
Oh,
kind
of course, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
the beat sheet is.
But it's like basically, I feel like the dialogue is like the beat sheet is like putting the fucking architecture together for the house, and the dialogue is like getting to pick the paint colors. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to like sweat when I'm going to paint the spindles until I've built the porch, if you know what I mean.
Sure. I just was wondering, I guess, if you improvise all the dialogue in the scene, knowing what the actions are, if you were improvising the dialogue all the way.
No, there's like, there's two different things. There's basically a script with dialogue written. Each project's a little different. So I'll just give the general example, and I'll tell you what this one in particular. In general, I'll write it out so the dialogue's there. And then on the day, we'll shoot it, and then I'll tell the people to say, like, well, kind of, you know, take this dialogue and just say it how you would say it, you know, how you would phrase it. And then I feel like it comes out more natural that way, unless it's like a real piece of like dialogue math where I need something to match something later to as a reference or so forth or information.
Right. Exposition kind of stuff.
Yeah. So then there's that. And then, but sometimes with this movie, like there was, just because of the time crunch of it all, there was a couple scenes where it just had a description in there rather than dialogue. But most of the scenes were all like dialogue. And then once we were shooting it, we would get loose, and you know that would be sort of the nuts and bolts of it more than the particular.
Can I ask you a Hollywood secret question?
Sure.
You don't have to answer this, but how much did you spend on this new movie so far? You don't have to answer.
I'd rather not answer that.
Yeah, sure.
And I mean, very small. But the reason I don't answer that is because down the line, I don't know, this is maybe paranoia. I don't give a shit. But like, it's just like if you kind of talk about how much you didn't spend on it, it makes it harder to sell it. And then also between now and when I do sell it, I don't know how much more I will have spent on it by then. So it might not even be accurate anyway.
Right.
But I don't know. You know, I don't know.
So it's all shot, and what stage is it in now?
It's almost all shot. There's one scene, there's like a half of a phone conversation that takes place that we are going to shoot in LA as Cincinnati. And then there's some inserts of a computer screen, and there's a shot of me like looking at my phone. So very little things, you know, to shoot.
Did you start editing anything yet?
Kind of. I haven't started editing the actual story, but I'm going through and just sort of organizing footage and all that sort of stuff. My plan is to...
And are you going to edit it?
Yeah. And I want to have it like all locked up by like May. So I've still got time. It's still early. And
is it a very small cast?
it's kind of big. I don't know.
And you made the scenes, you kept them small, so it wasn't like to do something low budget. You wrote it so it could be done easily with like locations you can grab and places you have access to.
And we shot in Cincinnati, so some things were easier and some things were more difficult in LA. Like, you know, I mean, I'm happy with everything I got, but like, you know, you've got such a deep stable of talent to pull from here, and there it's pretty limited. Well, also, I mean, I don't know. At least in my experience, I'm not too versed in like the production of.
Well, maybe
Cincinnati,
you just know more.
I just know more here, and it is also there's just more here. But also Cincinnati is like a totally different atmosphere and flavor than here, as is anywhere else from each other.
Yeah,
but,
it tastes more like chili there.
Yeah, that's right.
Skyline chili.
But it was really cool because I got to use people that I like grew up with and other people that are like non-actors, but I thought would be good for the movie and putting them in it and stuff like that. That was really cool. Like there's this guy, Eric Lowenstein, who's one of my favorite artists, and he's in the movie as a character. Anyway, it was just cool to like, I don't know, use people that I would never get to use here. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Movie.
Yeah, and it gives it a unique look. It's like what other movies are made in Cincinnati? Can you think of one? John from Cincinnati?
Well, there's been more lately. What was like Eyes of March, Carol, Little Man Tate.
Little Man Tate was in Cincinnati?
Yeah. There's been more lately, but...
WKRP, the show.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
But, what was I going to say?
Cincinnati was shot in San Diego.
WKRP was?
I know, I was just...
Well,
was it?
They shot the opening credits in Cincinnati.
That's what I was referring
and
to.
then like
the opening
Seinfeld
credits,
was completely done in LA, right?
Yeah.
That's a rip. When I found that out, I was like, that's a joke.
I went to the real Seinfeld bar one. Not bar.
They
what is
must
it,
have
a
shot
restaurant.
some in there's some exterior scenes. I wonder if those were done on the lot.
That's probably some like clip art
Some lot.
coverage or something.
That's a lot, but I think... But there is that restaurant but I think they just use a photo, right?
Well,
Or
clearly the exteriors and stuff are like
because
shot.
I went to that restaurant. It's kind
Yeah.
of near Columbia in New York. And I remember the waitress there sucked. I went with my friend, and she was like, I'm going in here and just maybe I'm wrong. I don't think so. Whatever. I went in. She was like, I'm going to go get some quick. And I was like, oh, I'm not really hungry. And she's like, okay, well, I'm going to get some. I was like, okay, cool. So I went.
See, but I'm thirsty. These pretzels are making
So
me
what is the
thirsty.
difference? I guess this is like some Seinfeld shit, actually. So we like go into the restaurant, and she sits down and she orders whatever she's ordering, and then the waitress is like, "Well, would you like?" Or I think she was more like, "What do you want?" She was like very just like not like a chill whatever waiter. And then I was like, "Oh, I'm just with her. I'm not getting anything." "Well, you got to get something." It's like, "Well, I'm just along with her. Like she's getting something. You got to get something." And then I was like, "Well, if she was sitting here alone, you wouldn't be upset that there's an empty seat beside her. Like, so I'm not trying to be a dick, but like I'm here with her." And like, "Well, you got to get something." "Okay, fine. I'll get like I think I did order a Pepsi or whatever." And then or I got what it doesn't matter. I got something small. And then she left, and then she had this awful attitude about it. and then she comes back, whatever. We finish our shit, and she was just like,
It's a total Seinfeld scene.
yeah. And so at the end of it, I was like, fuck her, I'm not leaving a tip. I wasn't even gonna buy anything. Like if we both came in here and didn't order anything, by all means kick us out or give us grief.
Right.
But it was just like I might as well be like a hat. Like who cares that I'm here? You know what I mean?
You
I
should
don't
have
know.
just dressed like a jacket. Put
Yeah.
your jacket over your head. I'm just a piece of clothing. I'm just sitting here.
So I was like, I don't know. I never do this, but I'm not gonna leave her a tip. Forget this. This is stupid. And then my friend was like, I don't know, maybe leave something. And I was like, all right, fuck it. And so I left a nickel.
Oh.
Which is like almost worse than
Less
leaving
than
nothing.
it, right.
But it was also like, leave me alone. I already, I don't know.
Did you leave an actual nickel, or did you?
I left a nickel.
Did you just leave it in the?
No, I left it on the thing.
Well, just to
And
be
then-
devil's advocate, maybe that's the store policy, and she was just fulfilling.
Well, she didn't make that clear. But also, anyway, so
Right, she could have said maybe. Oh,
She's
she
like-
could have said, "Look,
she's like, look,
get it.
I know, I get it.
I haven't
get it.
finished the
But-
story, though.
all right,
I'll tell
all
you
right,
what.
all right.
So we
You're right.
get up to leave, and then she discovers my tip, and then she starts screaming at me across the restaurant. "What the fuck is that? You can't come in here, not get anything, and then get a nickel." And it was also like, nickel correction. I did get something, and I don't know. And also, you were horrible. So I don't know. Maybe I'm a dick. I don't know. But I had no plans to go to this restaurant. There's a
imagine
few
this-
tiers of things going on here.
Right.
My friend was hungry and wanted to get something. I was not hungry, but I was like, I'll oblige and go along with you.
Right.
I was like straight up broke at the time, and that's why I wasn't going to go get some food. But I was there. If I was like, let's just go hang out in this restaurant and not order anything, I'd be a dick.
Right.
And then also I was going to not leave a tip because I thought that was less insulting than leaving a tiny tip. But then my friend was uncomfortable about it, so I left something. But for my own whatever, I was like, this person was just a dick to me.
Well,
And I get you want customer to buy something, but I was just like, I don't know. It's in a weird space, but like I feel
I'm
like
with
it
you
could
on
have been if she was more reasonable in her temperament, I would have been more reasonable in mine.
or if she even said something to the degree of what we were saying is, I get it. I know it's lame. The bosses make me. They have to do this. It's not.
Yeah.
I don't want to make you do this.
And
I
even
don't-
if that
I
was
don't
a
wanna-
lie, I would have been more sympathetic to that.
Right. Now, but I will say I'm with you on everything. But
Yeah.
leaving a nickel though is maybe worse than leaving nothing.
Well, I agree.
That means and screw you. That instead of
also-
like leaving no tip is more like.
On the flip side, do you think her expectation was, I bet he's going to give me a great tip because I was a total dick to him,
Right.
and
I don't think
his
you should-
friend who was totally just ordering
you,
full on.
you are in the right for
not
leaving a tip, for
but
being
the
treated like a jerk.
But I could see the nickel rubs it in their face.
It's a little
For
rubber.
sure.
Yeah.
But also, I bought some shit I didn't want. Again, if I came in there by myself, different story. Or if neither of us got something, different story. I don't know. But anyway, I had a very Seinfeld-esque experience at the fucking Seinfeld restaurant.
Maybe it's supposed to be like that.
Yeah, maybe
everyone
that's-
is
maybe
just
that's
down
the
some
gag.
weird like that's the gag.
And we
Like,
left some crazy bass riff played.
what if she's like, she yells at you, and then at the end of it, she's like, haha, this is the Seinfeld restaurant, of course. Have a great day, guys.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's like a bubblegum
You didn't need to buy anything.
but for Seinfeld.
We make so much money out for tourism alone.
Or it's a
Like,
new reality show. It's a hidden camera Seinfeld
Right.
show where you come out the restaurant kind of just disturbed or whatever, and then she
Yeah.
runs out and say, "Hey, you're on Seinfeld camera," or something like that. And they say, "There's a camera there," and it's just a thing we do here at the Seinfeld restaurant where we. Just kind of make it seem like a Seinfeld experience. Or
Yeah.
no, that's what it's called. You're on the Seinfeld experience. There's a camera right there.
Right.
And then like Ashton Kutcher is part of it, and he's wearing a trucker hat.
Yeah, it's
Or
like
a
what
mesh hat.
would you do but the Seinfeld experience?
Yeah, exactly.
I have a rude
Yeah, exactly.
Halloween experience, I could tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Halloween?
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
me and two of my friends,
Should we turn off the lights? No, I'm just kidding.
me and two of my friends went we were at this one party, right? This is a huge
Yeah.
party.
Yeah.
On Halloween or
I didn't even like.
Halloween Eve.
I was over Halloween, you know, like I DJ'd for the Cobra Man show Friday. So
It's
that
like
was
they
like
do it like every year. It's
that was
like,
a
I get
big
it.
night. And then the Saturday night, it's like my friend was visiting from Chicago, so I was entertaining him. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll go to some parties. I knew this huge one,
Yeah.
like downtown. It was like way downtown. It was like at the American Apparel Factory.
Yeah.
And they rented it out somehow. And there was like a Nine Inch Nails cover band and the Cure cover band. And it was
Yeah.
like this huge production. Anyway, we went there for like an hour. It was kind of fun. It was too loud. I wanted to get out of there. So we're like, let's drive back. Maybe our friend is having one. And then on the way to this small party, my friend got a text. It was like all caps, like, "Oh my God, come to this party in North Hollywood." So we go there.
Is that Maroon 5 guy thing?
I
forget
used to
his
go
name.
to those. I haven't been to one of those in a
Yeah.
while. No, it was someone I didn't know.
Yeah.
They were like, tell them this name. You know these people, because there was like security. It was a house,
Yeah.
you know. There's a security. There's a DJ outside. There's a food truck. It was a big production. So we go there, and the people there just weren't very fun. Like my friend from Chicago, he's like hilarious, and he likes to joke around with strangers. And he was a
Yeah.
doctor, so he would like act like a doctor. And at the
Like
other
he's
party,
a doctor in real life, and he's dressed as a doctor.
dressed as a
Just
doctor, not a doctor in
Okay,
real life.
gotcha.
And then, so anyway, we go there. The friend that invited us, we couldn't find her.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of standing around. We don't know anyone. And then this guy was like pointing at me and laughing and like nudging his friend, like,
Yeah.
ha ha. And my one friend's like, I don't like that vibe of that guy. I'm going over here. I'm
Yeah.
going over by the candy station or something.
Right.
And then
The
as
treat station,
right?
actually.
As he's walking away, the guy who was pointing and laughing at me, he's like, I was dressed like David Lynch, and I had a Sundance lanyard on,
Yeah.
and I put David Lynch's name on it,
Yeah.
director. And anyway, I thought he's like, oh, this guy likes my costume, and he wants to take a picture of me. And he's like, hey, can I get a picture?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, he's like, I want a picture of all you guys. And I go, hey, to my friend that's walking away, I'm like, come on, he's cool. He wants to take
Yeah.
our picture. And he's like, oh my God, David Lynch, a doctor, and whatever he's supposed to be. You guys are, you're all the same costume. You're three things that straight white guys like.
Okay.
And then I'm like, now I'm like insulted. Like, what is this? What is the point?
Yeah.
Like, this is the lens he sees the world through. A doctor and David Lynch is the same thing.
Who was the other guy? What
My friend
his
was dressed up as David Foster Wallace.
Okay.
So he just is an obscure. He like
had the bandana. And
he had a
glasses or
bandana
whatever. Yeah.
and like long hair. It's a pretty funny costume.
Yeah.
What does that guy do?
He was an author
Okay.
from like the 90s. Or,
Infinite Jest. I've
Right.
never read it, but I
80s,
saw the movie
90s.
about him.
Yeah, troubled author who like killed himself or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, just the way that this guy, he was laughing at us and saying that, and then I'm looking around like, okay, there's a lot of gay people here, I guess, whatever. But like, it was just, we were kind of shamed for being straight.
Yeah, there's no gay
in
people
this-
like David Lynch movies.
I didn't make any sense. I
know,
we were
it's
just so
actually-
rude, and then I was like stunned, and then he took our photo, and then we just had this weird little. My friend from Chicago was like, he thought I knew the guy, and then it was just awkward thing, and the guy's just like, ah, and he just sort of like walks away, and we're like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
And then we're like, let's just
did you
get
take
out
the
of
photo?
here.
I'm sorry. Did you take the photo?
The guy took the photo.
He didn't want to be in the picture either.
No, he was just taking. He was like, "Look at these three guys, three things that,
But even-
that
all right.
straight people like." It was like something specific. Like you're all the same costume. You're all things that straight people appreciate, or something like that. And we're like, "What?"
Did he say?
And then he took our photo, and then he walked off, and then we were just sitting there stunned, like, "What the hell was that? Was he? What was the point of that, guys? What was his point?"
Yeah, but even like that's such an absurd take on whatever. Anyway, but even like let's just say like
So a doctor?
but let's just say like lean into it like all right, like let's just say definitively that is like straight white guy stuff, which I mean that's pretty fucking broad.
Maybe he didn't
But-
say white guy.
well,
it was just like straight men
Right.
like this stuff. They
Well-
like doctors. Like, okay, they
Well, let's just.
doctors?
I guess what I'm saying.
It
like,
didn't make any sense.
Yeah, but let's
either.
just say that's like a. Let's just.
he was, like, mocking
Let's
us.
just pretend for a second that's like some definitive fact. It's like, well then okay, then what? what's the gag? Let's be like, yeah, look at this sports bar. All these people like sports. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I think
I mean,
we
even
were
if-
sort of like, okay.
it's more absurd than that
yeah.
anyway. But even if it was like accurate, it's like, okay, all right.
Yeah, so we didn't know anyone. I thought this guy, somebody appreciates my costume. And then he comes up and like mocks us. And then we're like, all right, well, let's just leave, I guess.
So it was more of a trick than a treat.
It was a trick. And then on the way home, I thought of so many good burns that I would have said to him.
Yeah.
I cannot even repeat on here.
Oh, really? Come on, it's after dark, baby. We'll
You're
turn
gonna
off the
say,
lights.
yeah, well, you look
Do
like David Byrne.
We'll make you a silhouette, and then and you do it with a deep voice.
Here's the joke. Here's
I'm going to put you in a documentary directed by Ken Burns.
Here's the comeback that I would have said if I was quick enough on my feet. No, I don't even remember what it was.
You just don't want to say, actually.
I remember one, but we were saying all kinds of ones. Like, I don't know. It was like something like, how do you know I'm not gay? Or, you know, what are you assuming about me? And then, I don't know. It was sort of like going doubling down back on him.
It was a lot of gay people there.
It didn't seem
Gay
like
men?
it.
Gay men?
There were some gay men, you could tell, but
How could you tell?
Oh, and here's the
How
weird
could you
part.
tell? They were dressed like things that gay
They
men
weren't
would
dressed
be-
like
would be
David
Yeah, they're
into.
Byrne.
obviously all things that gay men like. That gay men appreciate.
Nurses and Gus Van Sant. So you saw a group of guys. One was dressed as Gus Van Sant, a nurse, and a
Like
and John, who's a
yeah,
gay
what was the
writer?
third
one of them was
David
dressed
Lynch.
as one of them was
It was
dressed as
famously gay
Barbara
writer.
Streisand. One of them was dressed as Madonna. You know,
But what were the three costumes? David Lynch, a doctor, and what was the third one?
David Foster Wallace.
Oh, that's right.
It was
what's
three
a,
Davids.
What's a gay? Oh,
Because my friend was Dave. His real name.
who's a famously gay author? Well, all of them. I mean, Oscar Wilde. Okay, so this is how you do it. It's going to be Oscar Wilde. I mean, what's the gay version of a doctor?
A gay doctor?
The gay version of a doctor.
Or whatever. What would be the equivalent? You know, what would a gay man?
Barbara Streisand, or like a
and if
gay,
someone is being
gay
ignorant-
icon. You know.
No,
would
but
be-
no. But a profession. What's a gay iconic profession? I mean, you know what I mean? What in the medical field?
In the medical field,
I'm trying to get the equivalent, the parallel.
like a
here.
hairdresser or something. I don't know.
Okay, so a guy, a hairdresser, Oscar Wilde, and Gus Van Sant. That's the group.
That was
Go
like
up,
his
and you go up to him. Oh my God, it's so funny. You guys are into gay stuff here. You guys are dressed as things gay guys like.
No. I mean, obviously, we would never do something.
No,
I would never be rude to anyone like that.
Right? No, I know. I'm saying that's what it's like.
So anyway, the next day we're like, let's find out who this guy is. Like, what was that all about?
Yeah.
So we see him tagged in our friend's story, and then we kind of like track him down, and we find his thing, and he's like really popular on Instagram. He's like this comedian guy.
Whoa.
And we were telling the story to my other friend. He's like, oh, I know that guy. He doesn't know him personally. He's like, I've seen his stuff. He's hilarious. He's so funny on Instagram. And then we're like, yeah, but he said this insulting stuff to us. And he's like, yeah, but he's so funny. And we're like, okay. But he was this jerk, and he said this and this. And he's like, but he had the funniest costume too. he just kept
What
saying
was
how
his
funny
costume? Or you can't say.
and his costume, he had like he had a beard, but he had a blonde wig and like a pink shirt. So I just thought he was dressed as like just a non-costume, just goofy
Right, just
stuff.
kind of like a wacky outfit.
But
or
apparently he
whatever.
was some kind of Karen, type person, like a famous woman that was at a march or something. I don't
like
know.
a particular Karen.
A particular Karen. Anyway, that was just an interesting. So I was just sort of the next few days I was sort of thinking about that, like what was that all about? Maybe since he's a comedian, maybe he was trying to be funny.
This sounds like a bully.
I want
yeah.
to track this person down, and
I want to see what the
bottom of
name
that.
is. I know you don't want to say the name, or do you?
I don't know. Actually, I don't. My friend held up his phone and he was like, "Here's this thing." I didn't really look. I don't know his name, to be honest.
What'd you do? Did you go to another party after that?
No, we went home and watched the original Dune
Oh, okay.
for half an hour. I'm watching that thinking like, this. Did you see the new one?
You wanted to watch it because of your David Lynch costume.
Kind of, yeah. Because that's one Lynch.
Typical.
That's one Lynch film I never saw. But oh my God, watching that movie, it's so clear. It's so clear why it flopped. Because the first 20 minutes is like this long exposition stuff. It's like the planet Zaxxon is over here and the spice is on this planet and you have these people on this other planet.
Yeah.
And it's just this really confusing setup.
Yeah.
And they even like have a grid. They show the planets like lined up and it's like text underneath pointing to them and it's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
That's why Star Wars is like, okay, you got the good guy.
Yeah. Well,
And
they
he's
also
got
have their
this
little
mission.
They have
This
their
is-
little script, but it goes pretty quick, you know.
Oh right, that there is that
They
big
fill
long
you in on
text that
everything.
flies into
Yeah,
space,
but
but
they did
still
it in
you
such
can
a
just
nice,
you don't
cool
even need
way
to
that-
read that script. You just watch it.
Yeah,
and
you
you
get
understand
it.
what's happening. This is like so complicated of a
But
story.
I mean,
And then I was thinking they're gonna redo this story.
I just
What is so great about this story?
I just watched something that had
you
a
see
bunch
it?
of shit at
new
the
Dune?
beginning.
Did you see the old Dune?
I've seen the old Dune. Yeah,
You like it?
I remember liking things about it. You know, there's some interesting characters.
Those glowing
in
blue
it
eyes.
That. Oh yeah.
Well, look.
Also, let me say this.
I will say like
It's one of my favorite credit sequences of all movies.
I thought it was fun to watch, but I was like confused. I wasn't invested. Like I watched the first half hour. I'm not like
There's that
I
one-
can't wait to. I'm hooked.
Well, there's that
on the
one guy
story.
in it that he's one of the bad guys, I guess, or something. He's got all those boils and stuff. You know, that's
saw
kind of
that
an
scene.
interesting character. And
It's
then
gross.
Sting is in it, looking interesting.
And it
you know?
stars Ray Manzarek.
Rayman Zarek.
Yeah.
Is he in it?
Well, what's his face from Twin Peaks? I'm forgetting his name, but he played Ray Manzarek in the Doors movie. Thank you.
Kyle MacLachlan.
Oh, Kyle MacLachlan. Yeah.
All right,
Well,
what were you saying, Andre? I'm sorry, we cut you off.
but wait,
I don't remember. Oh yeah, have you guys ever seen The Wishmaster?
That sounds familiar.
I just finally saw it.
yeah,
I mean, it's from like '97.
I remember the trailers for it and stuff.
Yeah, the opening has a bunch of like text and history, and you're just like, all right, how much of this fucking history is this? And then, but then the movie starts, and it's like if you want just like a '90s, like gory, half sort of silly, half sort of bad. I don't want to say bad acting, but sort of campy. I don't know if you like that kind of shit. I mean, it's Wes Craven.
Oh,
So
Robert Englund is in it.
Yeah.
Freddy Krueger.
So it's like a Freddy Krueger movie without Freddy Krueger, as far as just like tone, like a later Freddy Krueger movie where it's kind of like silly and gory. Anyway, it really hit the spot Halloween night on
Oh.
Sunday when we watched it.
That's what you saw.
I recommend it. Yeah, as far as just like a silly, fun movie, but it doesn't have to be Halloween to enjoy it.
Came out in '97, huh?
Mm-hmm. But it was one I hadn't seen.
Yeah, then there's part 2, 99.
That's what I want to see.
3, Wishmaster 3.
Oh, shit.
2001.
That's got to be the
Whoa.
last one. You only get 3 wishes.
No, there's a 2002 one too.
Oh shit. They must have wished
Wishmaster, the
for more
prophecy.
wishes.
Oh, then the prophecy fulfilled.
Oh, okay.
Number 4.
About time.
Oh, wish granted.
Yeah.
I saw this horror movie the week before in this really cool backyard
Yeah.
screening, which they do every year. Next year I'll tip you off, but it's kind of like a friend of a friend thing.
Okay.
But it was the devil,
An
the house
acquaintance?
of the house of the devil.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Uh-uh.
It's really cool. It's like kind of modern, but
Yeah.
it looks 80s. They like
Oh,
they
wait.
nailed the look of the 80s.
I've seen the first part
It's
of that.
like about a babysitter.
Yeah, I saw the first part of that,
Yeah.
and then for whatever reason I couldn't finish, and I went back to watch the rest of it the next day, and it had gone off of Netflix or whatever it was at the time. I was like, "Fuck!" So I still need to see the last like third of it. I think
Put it in your queue.
it's
well,
gone.
it's
yeah.
funny
I mean, I
because
gotta
like the
rent it somewhere.
spoiler alert, but the first 75% is just there's no horror. It all builds up
Yeah,
slowly,
I know.
slowly
That's why I gotta see
until
the
this
end of it.
huge like
Well, don't tell me.
crazy ending.
Yeah, I've heard it's good though.
But it was just the look of it was really cool. Just straight up, the credits the way they look like they're optically printed and everything. You know,
Yeah.
it has the vibe of it.
The last Halloween, 2020 Halloween, I saw a really good horror movie, The Dark and the Wicked, which is really good.
Ooh.
It was one of the few horror movies that creeped me the fuck out, where I like went and checked to make sure the doors were locked. And, yeah,
I'm gonna write that down.
I don't want to overhype, but it's really good. I feel like if theaters had been open, it would have been like a big hit, like, you know what I mean, for like a Halloween season sort of situation.
You like
Dark
to
and the
be-
Wicked.
Yeah.
And Wishmaster.
Yeah, very different tones. Wishmaster's more like silly and fun watch. Dark and Wicked's like, oh Jesus Christ, this is like chilling.
So you go to if you have money to buy a ticket to Guns N' Roses, you go to Ticketmaster. But if you don't have the money,
You go to Wishmaster.
You go to Wishmaster.
Yeah.
And hopefully,
Yeah.
that'd be funny if there was a Wishmaster. It's like
They still have Wish service fees
they
though.
they just send you a ticket if you're a lucky winner.
Yeah.
Wishmaster.
Wish and Matt. Yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up. Thank you, Andre.
Call your local
for
Wishmaster.
being
Thank
here.
you. I gotta say, I feel like this After Hours is a better episode than our Pre-Hours episode.
That's how it goes, man.
Yeah, I really feel bad for the public, but that's why they get the free one, I guess, right?
I thought the main
Let me
one
ask
was
you something.
fun. We're
What
just,
makes you
we're just
say
hanging
that?
out and talking.
What makes you
Yeah.
say that?
Well,
I
we
feel like-
got into some better stories.
I
And
feel like
better-
there was more stories, more conclusiveness to our conversations. The first one was I felt a little meandering on myself even. I felt like I didn't have a fully articulated thought on some of the things I was talking about. That's how. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's fine.
Well, maybe we'll put this full episode out just to give the listeners a taste of what a real.
But what'd you
full
think?
blast.
Did you not think that?
I
Comparing the first half to the second.
I didn't really feel much of a difference comparing the two.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it was all part of the same.
I think there's some juicier stuff in there.
I agree. Yeah.
Well, okay.
I like the Seinfeld story and my Halloween story. Was a
Exactly.
banger.
That felt more like.
Well, you know what, Brett? We'll talk about it, but maybe we will just release the whole thing
Well-
because we
Well,
do
you
that
guys
once
do
in
what
a
you need
while.
to do, but
We
yeah.
do that once in a while to get people to the general people
Yeah.
who don't subscribe to the Patreon to be like, oh, this is what I'm missing. Usually
Yeah.
in the end, we're all warmed up.
Right,
and then
right.
It gets
And exactly,
more-
like, see, like, now if you do, not pushing for it, but if you do release the whole thing together, now people will hear our little roundup opinion on it, which you wouldn't have heard.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? It'll be like our Walking Dead, or Talking Dead, or whatever that was called.
True that.
Well, but here I'll say this though, there was two
Talking
bits
Pound.
that I found quite amusing.
Yeah.
Well,
so
one
a little recap podcast of the podcast we
yeah,
just had.
yeah, this is
Let's recap.
yeah. There are two. What was the thing I laughed at?
I had a really good joke in the beginning.
Well, I'm thinking that
We were talking about mesh hats and Slash.
no, but there was a
And then
thing.
we
Oh, I
talked
said
about
slash.
YouTube. Yeah.
GunsN'Roses.com slash.
well, one,
Yeah.
I like the idea of Hollywood secrets. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was during the main episode.
That's true.
That's a fun idea.
Do we need to recap?
And then, but then there was another
See,
thing.
this,
gotta
this,
wrap-
this is becoming
Well-
first
well,
half
now
vibes
I don't want
again.
them to hear this,
This is
'cause
first half vibes again.
ending on a downer. But
Okay, but I was just saying
your
that I
thought.
think what was the time you made a joke that I laughed at? What was it? Do you remember that?
It was so
it
good.
was
we can't remember.
GunsN'Roses.com slash.
Well, there's
Or
that.
slash-
That was a
yeah.
good joke.
That's a classic.
I'm just
That's
saying
being
that there were
engraved
some good
somewhere
jokes
right
that happened in the main episode that
Yeah.
I think it balances it out. You know, yeah, yes, there were some interesting stories in the
Yeah.
After Dark, the Seinfeld story
Yeah.
and the Halloween story.
Yeah.
Those were good, but there was some stuff in the main episode that was fun.
I just felt like after a while when we were talking about musicians, we were all just kind of spinning out. Or maybe that was just me. I was like,
No,
I can't
I
think of
mean-
more good examples.
No, you're right.
No, I think it's all good. You know, people are gonna love it.
People, you know what?
They're going to love it.
They're doing dishes. They just
gonna
want
love
to
it.
hear people talking in
They're
the background.
driving somewhere.
Yeah, it's fine. They're gonna love it.
Yeah.
Andre, we love you. And we
Well,
love
thanks
your
for having me.
episode, and we love Cincinnati and Guns N' Roses. So thanks for doing this.
And Slash.
That's right.
And
you bet.
Slash, and
You
mostly
bet.
Slash.
And mostly Slash.
Mostly Slash, yeah.
So we'll see you next time.
Oh, there I am.
We'll see you next time on the Poundcast.
Where's that camera? Which one am I fucking looking at? Doesn't
The
matter.
middle one.
That's
That one?
the one
Oh,
on the
yeah,
left.
That makes
Or
sense.
is it that
This
one?
is like one of those like
Oh, yeah, it's that one. There we
brunch birthday photos where it's a weird table in the middle. All right,
go.
bye.
Bye.
Doug and Brent talking to each other. Doug and Brent, what will they talk about today? Doug and Brent are talking to some pimples. Doug and Brent will talk to their friends, and Doug and Brent talking on the Poundcast.